Oh, you know what I love?
Sports.
Love sports.
Sports.
When it comes to Texas A&M.
Where are you getting this information?
Let me tell you.
Welcome to TexAgs.
It's here. It's time. There's always a buzz in the air when you hit this moment.
He is a guy that has gotten better and better and better. He's just got that dog in him.
We will develop men. We will graduate players, and we will win championships on the field.
I think of him as this hawk. Before long, he's going to be swooping in on those quarterbacks.
And they embody what the school is about. It's about getting into hard situations and getting ourselves out. It's about working hard. It's about doing amazing things.
And this is a real program. It's not fake. This is a real place. And if you want to be really good at football, this is a really good place to be.
You know, if I'm betting on anybody, it's the Aggies.
Well, that was a beatdown.
Yeah, it was.
It was fun to watch. It was, I think, a little bit of everything. Really good defense. Great free throw shooting. Good three-point shooting. Just a little bit of everything. Dominant in the paint.
Steals.
Yeah.
Yeah, just.
Relentless pursuit of the ball.
Yeah, it was. You know, I said I thought they played for this team about as close to a perfect game as they can play. Didn't shoot a high percentage, but this team typically isn't going to shoot a high percentage, but they shot it, like you alluded to, a really good percentage from three-point range.
Yeah.
Was on, what were they, 24, 25, 23, 24 at the free throw line?
Oh, we'll take that.
How many times have we suffered over the years, through poor free throws, shoot? I think it was 18 assists.
Only 3 turnovers?
Only 18 assists, 3 turnovers. How insane is that?
And that little guy who can shoot pretty well,
Josh Hubbard.
He had his lowest output of the year in a game that he played more than how many?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. He had a game earlier this year. He only played a little bit.
Right. He played 2 minutes and scored 3 points against San Francisco. And I don't know if he was hurt or sick or something. But for a full game, that was his lowest output, 12 points.
Here's the thing. Your comment was as close to perfect as possible.
For this team.
This team. And I think we may see another version of that too, because there's going to be a game where they hit 14, 15 threes.
Yeah, I think so. You know, it was funny because Bucky last night was saying, you guys don't get it. And you're going to think I'm crazy, or he didn't say it that way, but that's what he was referring to, that Rashawn Agee is a really good three-point shooter. He said there's going to be a game where he's going to hit 4.
Yep.
He just hadn't found that stroke. But you know what? It doesn't matter because he's just abusing guys that are 5 and 6 inches taller than him in the paint.
It's funny when he gets the ball in the paint, he's got this look in his eyes like, all right, time to go.
And he's so quick. You know, you saw it. He kind of leans into a guy, and they're leaning on each other, and then he spins around him. He's so fast, and the big guys are just flat-footed, and he's going in and getting layups and sometimes fouled and turning 3-point plays. Man, he's good.
And
what a find he was.
Great find.
Agee the Aggie.
And how about Rylan Griffin, man? That guy.
I mean, he's on fire right now.
He's on this.
And hopefully it's going to continue all year long.
Defensively. How about that stretch? Was it 3 threes in a row? I mean,
yeah.
I think it was 21-21, and Isla, my daughter, she watches all the basketball games with me, and she's like, Dad, do you think we're going to win this game? And I said, yeah, I think we're going to win, and I don't think it'll be close. I didn't think 20. I wasn't thinking that. And then, boom, boom, boom.
Well, at one point it was 21-21, and then A&M outscored them 13-2 over about 2.5 minutes, and they capped that run, that 13-2 run, with 3 3-pointers, and it started with Rylan Griffin, top of the key, or maybe even a little bit to the left or right of it.
The Jakari, right.
And then he had another one from the left wing deep, and it ended with Jakari.
Yeah.
And one of them, I think it was, there's so many. What they hit? 9 3-pointers?
9 3-pointers in the game, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't think anybody had more than 2.
And there was a couple of, like, in the first half, especially when the game was close, almost steals that we saw that, like, their pressure was causing so much problems for Mississippi State.
Yeah, Mississippi State was having problems with it. They admitted it. They acknowledged it. Rylan Griffin was saying that I guess he has a friendship with Josh Hubbard, and was saying that Hubbard said, dang, you guys got to stop Preston, I'm tired. He said, yeah, we're tired too, but no, we're not going to stop, bro.
Well, think about that. He leads the SEC in scoring.
Yeah.
He scores 22 points a game. He's had a couple games this year where he was, one that was knocking on the door of 40, right?
He had 36 against Texas.
Yeah.
And then followed that up with 30 against Oklahoma.
And he has 12 against A&M. And this is after a quick start. I think he had 5 points in the first few minutes of the game.
Well, he made their first basket, that's for sure. And then in the first minute. And then he hits a three. When did he hit that three? 16:39. He hit a three, and he'd already had another shot. So he had, they gave him 5 points right away. And then he hit another three with 9:45. That's what made it 21-21, and didn't score again until the second half.
Nick, if you could put up their schedule for me for a second, I just want to play a game. If they win the games they're supposed to, right? And I don't know what they're supposed to win, right? But I'm saying not the ranked games for right now. Like,
yeah, the games. I'd say first of all, you start with whether you're at home,
right?
And then you say, okay, now do they at least appear to match up evenly with that team? If they do, that's a game they should.
Is that 4 home games left? It looks like.
They got South Carolina. They got Florida. Probably not supposed to win that one.
Missouri.
Ole Miss. Texas.
That's and Kentucky.
5.
Okay, so 6 home
and
games.
Kentucky, 6.
So if you win 4 of those.
And I would say you probably should win 5 the way they're playing basketball right now. But you've already beaten Texas. Kentucky doesn't. I mean, Kentucky's good, but they're not the vintage Kentucky. Even Missouri. I mean, you don't want to start getting greedy because let's face it, this is a team that still has its limitations. Yeah. So they've got to play well, and they're playing well.
But they have their limitations, but guess what? They don't know about them. They don't play like they have limitations.
See, here's the thing. I disagree.
You do? Okay.
I think they understand their limitations, and so that's why they play so hard. And they play to their strengths. Like some teams might get away from playing to their strengths. They don't seem to.
Yeah, and I also think that part of that, to agree with you, but in a different way, is that's just the way Bucky's built. I mean, he told us this in his opening press conference. Signetti had his opening press conference. Google me. Bucky was telling you exactly what the blueprint was going to be.
Yeah, he's made a believer out of me. He's going to, barring a complete collapse, and I don't think he's going to be an easy choice for the SEC Coach of the Year.
Yeah,
maybe national, depending on how this goes. I know who's not going to be Coach of the Year. He's in Maryland. He might be Coach of the Week, WAK. But Bucky has, he's already they've just far exceeded any expectations.
Well, look, I think we're past looking back at Buzz at this point, right?
I know, but I enjoy it.
But I want to go back for a second because I really do believe this. I think Buzz is a really good coach, and I love what he did here. But let's say he came back. It was going to take, in my opinion, 2-3 years to build it again, right? He is a person that needs things a certain way. He is so process-driven that I got to get the right guys with the right parents and the right formula and the right this and the right that. And it doesn't happen for Buzz as quickly as I think in today's college athletics, people are expecting quicker turnarounds.
Yeah.
And Bucky's done a very quick turnaround because he's an excellent coach.
He has a vision of how he wants to play,
and he knows how to pick the guys to play that vision.
Yeah. You know what I find just amazing when you think about it?
What's that?
Okay, well, everybody knows that by the time Bucky was hired here, the top players in the transfer portal were already taken, right? So he was essentially, I don't mean this in a bad way, getting the leftovers.
Yeah.
How, and I can't use the word I want to use, but so how mentally challenged are so many coaches out there that Rashawn Agee was still around?
Well, I think it's because even USC didn't think he was going to be eligible. But right now, you could be 36 years old, a mortgage, 2 kids, finish playing college football or basketball years ago, and still get eligibility.
That Judge Wise, don't know his first name, George maybe Wise. That's the MVP of the A&M basketball team. The guy who filed, what was it, an injunction?
Injunction, yeah. Well, And by the way, you saw the Alabama, I forget his name right now, Alabama player who's played G League basketball, professional basketball.
He's been paid to play basketball
for the last couple seasons, and he's coming back.
Does that happen? I mean,
come on, guys.
There's only certain programs Ole Miss, their quarterback is told that, no, we can't give you an extra year, even though you missed, you already had they couldn't give him like a health year. But this guy, it's Alabama.
He's been paid to be a basketball player.
I'm not saying that there's double standards. I'm just saying.
Well, now there's Trinidad Chambliss. Now there's some optimism that he's going to get the year.
It's going to be very similar to the way Rashawn Agey's playing.
Right.
You find a judge and, you file the suit in your state. And,
I got a buddy named Josh Pate, right?
Yeah.
Who wants to be the commissioner of college football.
Okay.
I think you could let him be the commissioner of all sports, but he's a football guy. He actually, yesterday, did you hear this little clip yesterday?
I didn't get to hear him yesterday.
I want you to hear a part of it.
I was actually working.
Because he found an idea that's better than my preseason bowl games.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah. This one is so much better than the preseason bowl games.
I can hardly wait.
This is fantastic, Obi. This might fix it. All right.
Okay.
It's too good that they won't use it, but I'll give Josh props. This one I'm actually excited about.
All right, let's hear
Josh Pate trying to fix the bowl system.
I think we had a breakthrough today. I think we figured out how to fix the college football playoff, how to save bowl season, how to move the national championship game to January 1st, how to get the portal wrapped up, and how to get National Signing Day wrapped up, all by the start of the spring semester. Step 1, I would like to move week 1 to what week 0 currently is, which leads to a revolutionary Thanksgiving weekend. It's where step 2 comes into play. We're going to have conference championship games. We're just going to have them Thanksgiving weekend instead of the week after Thanksgiving. We have a big problem in this sport right now. Bowl season has been rendered largely irrelevant compared to what it used to be. So I'm taking the shock panels, I'm rubbing them together, and whatever that gel is in between, putting them on the chest of bowl season. Clear! Boom! Bowl season's back. I'd like to take 6 bowls. Don't particularly care which ones they are. Let's just call it the Citrus Bowl and the Pop-Tart Bowl, Cheez-It Bowl, etc. Either that Friday after Thanksgiving or that Saturday. You guys can choose. Take all the teams that are going to play in conference championship games, take them off the board. They're already preoccupied. But this is what it would have looked like this year. My Pop-Tart Bowl is Oregon versus Houston. My Cheez-It Bowl is Ole Miss versus Michigan. I've got A&M, Arizona. I've got Oklahoma, USC. I've got Texas versus Utah. I've got Notre Dame versus Vanderbilt. These are bowl games. They are also college football playoff data points. These games count. You could play yourself into or out of the playoff. In many cases, in the Pop-Tart Bowl, because the day after, that Saturday, that is Selection Sunday, 9 a.m. It's an NFL Sunday. We're not scared of the NFL around here, but we're also not going to be stupid and run opposed to them. So we're going to reveal the college football playoff rankings and seedings and the bracket 9 a.m. that Sunday. And then step 5, round 1 happens a week later. Round 1 of the college football playoff on campus is held the first Saturday in December. Round 2 of the college football playoff, held on campus, is held the second Saturday in December. Round 3, finally going to kick it to a neutral site, only because I think I have to. I don't want to. That's the third Saturday in December. And then we break for Christmas, and our national championship game is held New Year's Day.
Bam. I think you laid out a pretty good little argument.
I think he's on the right track. I still don't like some teams getting a bye and not having to play the same amount of games to win a championship as others.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think that's right. He's on the right track.
So which teams would that be?
Didn't he say that the teams like A&M last year who weren't in the top 4, that they would be playing the bowl games away from campus?
Yes, but he also did say that the Indiana.
Did I miss something? They would be playing their conference championship.
They would still be playing their championship.
Right. So they still, as far as a playoff game, would still be.
It wouldn't be a playoff game, though.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It wouldn't be a playoff game for them, but it would be for everybody else.
Not for A&M. No, it's a data point for.
Well, then they're meaningless. And they're meaningless. I don't want to play a game for a data point. The data point for what? To see if you have to play.
If you can play into the
playoff or play out of the playoff.
Well, see, I should have 12 games already. Why does one more game?
Just he's trying to make the bowl games relevant again. Right.
And I've already, I've said for years, everybody who, if you pay attention to me when few people don't, or few people do, I say give the money from the bowl games to the players.
Yeah, I think you can do that, and I still like the idea of having bowl games that Thanksgiving weekend. I think that's kind of cool. I think it brings a little bit of, okay, I'm more interested in the Pop-Tart Bowl now. By the way, there's never not been interest because people watch bowl games. They watch them more than the NBA Finals.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm going to sign off on the whole idea that I've got to go play a bowl game somewhere, the Pop-Tart Bowl game, to determine where I'm going to be matched up in the playoff when I've got 12 games I've already played that should have already made that.
I also wonder how you would, like, the season ends the week prior, so that's a pretty quick turnaround to have all these fan bases have to go a week later somewhere else.
That's true. I would always would hope that they'd give them at least 2 weeks so you can get the cheaper airfares.
Right.
But let's face it, seriously, who in college, and I'm talking about Trev Alberts too, I'm talking about everybody, really gives a crap about the fan situation, unless they're the fans that give millions of dollars. I'm not saying he hates the guys, but did you ever see like ADs never sign off on saying, you know what, we're only going to, because now he wants to talk about playing in August. It's College Station in August. It's going to be 110 degrees, or it feels like 110 degrees in the stadium. Let's charge $1 for the water. No, it's more likely than, they really need to drink a lot of water. Let's jack up the price. I'm not saying that A&M would do that, but there are athletic directors, people in college sports. I don't really think that they care about the fans. They just use them.
Do you care about the name of the show?
I do. It's the Go Hour. Oh, yeah. TexAgs Live.
Presented by
David Gardner's Jewelers. Now. Yeah. He cares.
Yeah, he does care. In the Rollo Insurance Studio. Also
Jason
a Care Bear right there. Yeah.
Keith, all those guys.
Yeah. It is the Go Hour presented by the Warehouse at CC Creations. Mm-hmm. They care.
They care.
They care about this hour. And more.
They sponsor because they care.
They do. And typically we're over there in the Holistic Planning Cool Zone. Also a caring group of humans.
They care. They
care
success. About your finances, yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to be a part of the conversation, you can call Buppy, or you can call the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. You can call Buppy, too. I'll give you his personal number when nobody's listening. 979-693-1150.
Yeah. And you can also text
the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line.
PPE text line.
Yeah, 979-693-1150. We go around the room left to right. Nick, I apologize. That was probably a longer clip than usual, but I thought it was a lot of good information.
No, I absolutely. I listened to that whole show actually yesterday, and he did say, I don't know if it was in that clip, but he did say he wanted to expand. Well, he didn't want to, but he said he expects the playoff to expand to 16 teams, so the buys would be gone there. But honestly, David, I don't think I would ever say this. I think I might prefer your model with the bowl games at the beginning. I know, OB, I don't like it.
Well, if that's all it takes, we're moving the bowl games. Let's do it.
I just think, I don't know, for whatever reason, they would be more relevant to me at the beginning of the season. But
they're like what that is saying, hey, we're going to play the old games that we used to have, like the Disney World Classic or something. It's the same thing.
But but baseball does it, right? They go play these tournaments at major league stadiums. College basketball has all these non-conference tournaments now. It's kind of the same thing, but I kind of don't like them being played away from campus. I don't know what you do about that, but it's an interesting idea for sure, but it's not going to happen, David, like you said. It's just not going to happen.
I just thought it was an interesting idea that I could get around, and college sports is all about trying things for like a week. All right, let's try a 12-team playoff. And then now let's do 16.
And then realize what a bad idea it was. Yeah. So you try to change it.
Okay, let's do 24 now. Okay, let's go back to 4. Let's vote on our national championship. That's a good idea.
Oh, yeah, go back to that one. Oh my
gosh. All right, let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Cooper Patterson is there. Hello, Cooper.
How y'all doing?
All right, buddy. What's going on with you?
Not much. I was up real late because of the basketball game, so I'm a little tired this morning, but we got a win, so I can't be I didn't go to bed sad that we lost.
Well, that makes, I don't know about you, but that makes me want makes it harder for me to sleep.
Yeah, the
excitement.
The excitement.
The endorphins.
But those endorphins are still there if you lose. And if you lose, you're mad. So I can get down with going to bed late after a basketball victory. When there's been a couple times, where was it last year, where somebody hit a 3-point shot to beat them late. You know, remember that?
Yeah, maybe Texas.
No. But that was a late night game. I forget one. And I know A&M had one in a late night game that they won on a last second shot as well.
Yeah.
What game was that? Was it Ole Miss?
Might have been.
Might have been Ole Miss.
Might have been.
Yeah. But anyway, like going to bed after a loss and it's midnight is the worst.
See, when I win, though, I want to go watch SEC Now and just listen to, and I want to then watch ESPN and just bask, bask in it. And then I want to go on to TexAgs
and see what the people are saying.
Yeah, I don't care what Luke says, but I want to see what how the other people, the readers and the people that actually.
Was it Zurich Phelps who won a game last year late and maybe like overtime or double overtime? I might be making that up, but I feel like that sounds familiar.
There was one against Oklahoma.
Maybe that's what it was.
They came back and won late, but I think there was one that they lost on a last shot too.
Anyway, Mr. Patterson, give us some info.
Well, OB, we know you didn't go read Luke's tweets, but I've got a cool stat that he provided. You just don't got to go find his profile, look at his profile picture, look at his mustache. I'll just give it to you how he said it. Does that make sense? You cool with that?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No.
Okay. Well, I'm going to do it anyways. Last time I was here, A&M was 4th in defensive efficiency through their first 3 conference games. They've played 3 more conference games, and now they're ranked 2nd. As you already mentioned, they held the Bulldogs' leading scorer, Hubbard, to 12 points, which is season low in games he's actually played real time in. They also got 13 turnovers with 14 points off those turnovers. So it's just a masterclass across the board. And I asked this question again. How does this defense look, and how do they keep improving? I don't understand. It looks like a different defense than we saw at the beginning of the season.
I think they all just understand the task, and they're playing. Like when they double and triple team and when they're attacking people, they are so fast at getting back on the other end to catch up. I think they just understand their roles, OB, and they've done it enough times.
And they're coming together and not just understanding their roles, but just understanding the concept of what Bucky is trying to do.
Yep.
And so now it's like, mid-season form, right? You understand it. You're not just trying to get it. You're not just hustling. You're hustling with a purpose.
You're right about that. By the way, let's hit a break here, but I do want to read this from Trey in College Station on the Catalyst Pure Performance text line. We need to go grab Braden Montgomery, Chris Cortez, and Evan Oschenbeck for baseball because there's no rules. Because the Alabama guy who played in the G League, which is basically the minor leagues of the NBA, he was allowed to come back? Well, let's challenge it.
Good point. Yeah, very good point.
Let's bring them all back.
But
Jace, come on.
I just don't know that those rules and those concessions are going to be displayed evenly.
Yeah.
It is the NCAA, by the way.
Let's take Bucky to eat.
Man, he deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's earned it.
Yeah. And because of all the energy that they expend, I believe they probably need some carbs. So let's start it off with your favorite carb from 1775.
It should be everybody's favorite carb, the queso mac and cheese. Yeah. Bucky, I don't know if Bucky's been there. He needs to be able to make that short drive out a little bit past the airport. Towards Snook, but
not really Snook.
Just a couple of miles past the airport on the left.
Yeah.
Because he'd been from Alabama. He's used to that chicken with the mayonnaise-based white sauce on, which is actually pretty good.
It's all right.
But he needs to, be able to step up a class. Like going from Samford to A&M, it's stepping up a class. Going from whatever he
mayonnaise
is in Alabama to Texas barbecue, that's stepping up a class. And on 1775, that's going even higher.
OB loves the turkey. I love the ribs.
I love that pork ribs. I love the jalapeno cheese sausage, of course. The succulent brisket.
Yeah,
love it all.
You probably said the word succulent over the last year more than your entire life times 10.
Well, because I had the succulent brisket at 1775, and it was probably the best brisket I've eaten than I have in my whole life.
It is 1775 979-492-6241 or text or call them up or whatever. Just go to their website, 1775txbbq.com. It's good, huh?
It's very good, just like Bucky McMillan.
Hey guys, David Nuño here to talk about our new partners with EventPipe. They are a leader in hotel booking technology, and now they're giving you a chance to support Aggie student athletes every time that you travel. Thanks to their partnership with United and EventPipe, whether you're heading into a game, a business trip, or family vacation, every room that you book comes with cash back in the pockets of Aggie athletes. That's a wonderful deal. And with EventPipe, you'll get discounted hotel rates up to 20% lower than the major travel sites while enjoying a fast, easy booking process. They've even created Presto, EventPipe's quick launch booking solution. It lets organizations build branded hotel sites powered by live hotel inventory, making it simple to book the perfect stay. So next time you want to book a trip, do it the smart way with EventPipe and support Texas Aggies NIL through United. Visit their website, tau.eventpipe.com. We're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. As a reminder, the final segment of the program is brought to you by Double Dave's. How about right now? Call number 12, 979-693-1150. We're going to hook you up with your choice of a dozen pepperoni rolls or a large one-topping pizza from Double Dave's. They've been serving Aggie land since 1984 with your favorite pizza and, of course, those world-famous pepperoni rolls, reliable in-house delivery, bringing piping hot goodness straight to your door. Just click on doubledaves.com, and your favorites are on their way. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I want to know, like, okay, so you know what happens on Twitter?
A lot of things.
A lot of things happen. You read something, and then your timeline gets flooded with that topic.
That's true. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And then
like,
it started happening.
If I read something that Homeboy says, then Homeboy's going to be all over my timeline, right? So yesterday, I actually did look for the latest in the weather. And now I'm getting freaking weather in Nashville. I'm getting weather in the Northeast, the Pacific Northwest. I just want Bryan College Station, right?
Weather that affects you.
Weather that affects me, right? And then Houston weather is going to be a little different than College Station. Austin weather is going to be a little bit different, but at least that I can kind of figure it out from there. So let's see if Cooper Patterson has become a meteorologist in the last few minutes. What have you found for us?
I definitely haven't become a meteorologist. I'm looking at AccuWeather, which is what I've heard is a really good source for your weather needs, but it's telling me things very differently than what I've heard. I heard someone say something like, we're going to have 9 inches of snow, which I had never heard.
You have not heard that about College
Somebody
Station.
said it.
Frisco, Texas is supposed to get something
One of my
like that.
friends said it. It was not a real source.
That guy is high. Sorry.
All right.
I know your friends don't do that.
AccuWeather, they say we could have 0.15 to 0.25 inches of ice and snow that could happen from like 9 p.m. on Saturday to 9 a.m. on Sunday. So Sunday morning is where you're looking at like some potentially icy conditions if you're heading out to church.
See, I thought I heard that it was going more north. So like that yes, we're still going to get the icy conditions and we can get some precipitation for sure, but like some of that some of the snow potential is all moving more north.
Yeah, I'm looking right now at weather.com, and it says on Friday, light rain. Is this?
But I think Saturday is when it's supposed to be.
Saturday, it's just saying rain with a low of 21, a high of 42. So that's freezing, 21. It's going to freeze at 32 degrees. Is what they taught me at White Oak High.
Yeah.
And then by Sunday,
19 degrees.
It's saying it could get down to 15.
Okay.
With a high of 29. And then Monday down to 21 with a high of 37. And then by Tuesday we get back over freezing. So it's going to be a 4 days of keeping your faucets dripping and
I wonder
so on and so forth.
If today the SEC will make some kind of announcement about, because I mean it's Nashville. Was it Clay Travis who tweeted that it's supposed to be like 10 to 14 inches of snow coming their way?
Yeah, you know what? They might, but the SEC's never really been too proactive about stuff like that. I can remember, like football, hurricanes get games, and then I can remember a couple years ago. You'll remember this. The weather in Arkansas was so bad that A&M couldn't fly into Fayetteville, and so they had to bus from I think Wichita to Tulsa to Fayetteville, and that's just yeah. Sucks to be you. Play the game.
Play the game. Well, luckily A&M will be at home if they play the game.
Yeah, so sucks to be South Carolina.
And I think Luke and I were talking about South Carolina plays at home on that Wednesday after. So there's a chance if that were to happen, they could stay in College Station until prepared to basically not get out of College Station or wherever you might be here in the South.
I think that'd be great. I'm all for South Carolina having to pay money into our economy.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, we'll hit a break. We'll come back. Stephen McGee will join us. We'll chit-chat with Stephen about, I guess we'll talk about a little Fernando Mendoza, a little Indiana, and just the job that they did there. And I'm curious how long it's going to be for the SEC to feel like they are on the same playing footing, if you will, of the Big Ten.
Maybe they probably still do.
But where it plays out that way.
But you haven't won a national championship in 3 years. And
you haven't been in the championship game in 3 years.
The Big Ten has won them.
Yeah.
And you know what? You have got to take all the taunting, because when you were on top,
you taunted.
You told everybody that, hey, I'm better than you and your girlfriend's ugly. That's the SEC, that's And now, you're not.
Yeah.
So you got to take it.
We'll talk about that here on TexAgs Live. Right now, we're talking Rollo Insurance. Insurance decisions shouldn't be made on a whim, guys. You should have somebody who knows your whole situation. And then the Rollo Insurance Group, they're going to build lasting relationships through education, helping you understand what you're buying and the why behind it with expertise in everything from home to auto to business. They want to make sure that you get your specialty coverage. Their independent agents provide an option tailored to you and your specific needs. They take time to explain that policy in plain language, ensuring you're never left wondering about your coverage. Their educational approach empowers you to make informed decisions about your future and protecting your family, your loved ones, and your business. Many clients discover better protections at competitive rates simply because they finally understand their options. Experience the difference at one of their 60 great offices in the state of Texas, or you can visit them online. RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs. That is RolloInsurance.com/TexAgs, or call them up, 888-44-ROLLO. That is 888-44-ROLLO. Oh, hey, we're back. Just reading. There's a Masters of the Universe trailer out that I'm interested in. That show was great back in the day, in the 80s.
Never saw it.
He-Man? Not familiar with his game?
Oh, I knew there was a cartoon called He-Man.
And She-Ra?
No.
I think that was well before Stephen McGee's time. Let's go to the hotline, the Buppy's Catering and Bartending hotline. Our good friend, Stephen McGee from Paragon Financial. He's our QB1, and he can also help you with your financial future at Paragon Financial Advisors, helping you make the right calls for your financial future. What's up, buddy? Oh, I don't hear him. That's a problem. Let's see what happens with Stephen McGee. This has been a good start to the segment, isn't it? It's caught in the days for a moment. Bring up He-Man. I'm surprised you knew about his game, and now we can't get to Stephen McGee, so we'll check in with him. But one of the things I told you, Obi, that we're going to talk about is this SEC Big Ten, like the difference. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw what Feinbaum said, but he thinks some of it might be a financial issue, that like the Auburns and the Alabamas of the world don't have the money that the A&Ms and Texases do and the Texas Techs do and a lot of the Big Ten schools do.
Well, if that's the case, tough, you know?
Yeah.
I would think that LSU seems to always be able to find the money, and that's a poor state.
Yeah.
But, you know, they can buy out this and buy out that, and so they always seem to have money.
Here's a quote from Feinbaum.
Georgia has. Wait, Auburn has the guy who's like in charge of Apple. Is he not a?
Is he an Auburn guy?
Yeah, Tim Cook or something like that.
So this is what it says about. Here's what Feinbaum says. We're talking about billionaires now. Outside of Texas and Texas A&M, the list of billionaires start to get really thin. I can tell you that in the state of Alabama, there are 2 billionaires. Only 2 in the entire state, and they're both Auburn supporters. Alabama doesn't have a billionaire. And why is a billionaire important? He says this to Matt Berry, because they can throw around money.
Yeah, but will they? And that's why I know Texas is going to always be successful now, because their billionaires want to win.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that A&M's want to win with the same fervor as those guys and Cody Campbell and obviously folks up at Michigan and Ohio State want to win too.
Yeah. Cody Campbell actually mentioned A&M in Texas when talking about teams that are going to be able to withstand this NIL.
You reckon Florida has some billionaires down there?
You would think.
Yeah, you would think. So, I don't know.
Miami
Georgia,
does.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that sounds like an Alabama problem. So that's a you problem.
Yeah, and Feinbaum is trying to make it all about the SEC, but it's really just more of an Alabama problem.
Yeah, I think that's an Alabama problem. And I think that's wonderful.
You don't mind it at all?
Alabama? No, I don't mind it at all.
Do we have Stephen McGee there on the hotline?
Speaking of billionaires.
Hey, Stephen. Hey, buddy.
All kind of glitches this morning. Sorry about that.
Oh, good, man. Thanks for joining us. So I don't know how much of that you heard, but the Big Ten won 3 straight, obviously. The SEC, Feinbaum is saying maybe the money's not there, but OB's already figured out the problems. Alabama, that doesn't have the money. The rest do.
Yeah, I'd say the money's there. I mean, who in the SEC is poor?
Yeah.
I mean,
some are poorer than money. Some are poorer than others, but you know. But for A&M has, let's face it, A&M has a lot of guys. You go to A&M, you become successful, you make a lot of money, and a lot of times you give some back to A&M. For instance, Steve McGee, you know, what are you worth, and how much are you prepared to give to A&M?
Hey, I can tell you this: I'm worth $150 more than I was last night before I bet on that A&M basketball game.
Oh, you did?
To see it.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I went with Swopey to the game. I don't know a single thing about basketball, but we
the
let
son
it
of a
ride.
basketball coach knows nothing about basketball.
They covered. So I got $150 I can give to NIL, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen, what do you think about the job that Cignetti and Indiana did and what that might mean for the rest of college football, right? The fact that somebody at Indiana got it done in 2 years, and you have these big programs that are expected to win right away that they want a little patience. They want 3-4 years. But now what Indiana did in 2 years with a program that's never won.
I think it's a reality check. I think there's a lot of programs probably look themselves in the mirror and say, you know, are we going about this process the wrong way, like through the portal and through NIL? And I mean it more from a cultural perspective. Indiana doesn't have a lot of 5-star caliber kids, but they have a bunch of veterans that had been productive at other places. So they built their team largely through the transfer portal, but with guys that were seemingly high character, smart team guys that would do their job, not necessarily superstars. And so, I think it's very interesting. It was the clash of the Titans. I mean, you have along the way, they beat teams that were quote unquote, like, the perennial recruiting champions and transfer portal champions. But on the field, it's about the best team, not the individual best players. And I thought it was just an incredible job. I think the challenge that any head coach has in today's football is getting the team to buy in together and not be about me, but be about us. And I feel like Cignetti got his guys to play so well together.
Yeah, and I think if those that say, hey, Indiana did it in 2 years, so we expect you to do it in 2 years. And, even before NIL, there have been coaches like Jim Tressel and Bob Stoops and even Gene Chizik that won championships in 2 years, right? But I think if you think, oh, Indiana did it, so we should be able to, you're discounting that maybe Cignetti's just special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody's going to be able to do what he does.
I agree. I mean, when you get lightning in a bottle, you get the right guy at the right school, and then you have the right quarterback and other support guys around you. I mean, that's what can happen. I don't think he's going to win that many games every year. But heck, next year they look like they loaded up again in the portal. They got another great quarterback coming in there. So you never know.
Hey, so break down Mendoza's game, McGee, and how you think that might translate to the next level.
Yeah, he's not what I would refer to as like the toolsy kid, like the Caleb Williams, where he can make every throw in the playbook and he's an unbelievable athlete. But I think he is going to be a really good, I think can be a good starting quarterback. Let's say that. I mean, like a top 25 quarterback in the NFL, solid starter. I think he reminds me a lot of Sam Bradford, Jared Goff. I mean, look, that pressure of Miami's D-line, that'll get to any quarterback. And there were some plays in there where it got to him a little bit. There were some open throws. I remember one on a little Hank concept, sixes. Hook route was wide open, and he scrambled out and had to throw it away. But that's what pressure does. I think he's very accurate. I think he's got great anticipation skills. And I think he can absorb a lot of the mental capacity that it takes to run an NFL offense. So I think all those three things set him up to translate really well to the NFL game. Accuracy, anticipation, and then the between the ears game. And then he is sneaky athletic.
I think he's going to be a very successful quarterback in the NFL so long as they have some decent talent around him. I can say that about anybody, but he's going to end up at the Raiders and probably then be a colossal failure. But Stephen, you talk about his accuracy, and the thing that stands out to me is the accuracy he throws on the back shoulder throw.
Yeah,
I mean he throws that like a 10-year NFL vet.
He does, and between him and 80, there's a lot of comfort. I mean that guy made some phenomenal plays as well. So he's. They always say that the back shoulder throw, you can't cover it if it's thrown perfectly and executed perfectly by the receiver. And Indiana is kind of the case in point of that. Obviously you got to be very accurate on those throws, but I like Mendoza a lot. I like his story. I like the family thing. I like the way he carries himself. I love that he's about his team. He always is looking to, put the praise on those guys, the offensive line, the receivers. And I think that's pretty unique in today's culture.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back with more, little buy, sell, hold. But right now we're talking about the LakeWalkTX.com. That's right, LakeWalkTX.com. Imagine a workspace designed for how we work now, collaborative, inspiring, and surrounding by real energy. That's the Lumen at Lakewalk. The Lumen is Bryan College Station's only Class A+ office building with lake views, on-site dining, fitness and conference amenities, all steps from the Stella Hotel, and everything Lakewalk has to offer. It's a place built for modern business, a place that can help attract talent, impress clients, and keep teams energized, and something that Aggies are really going to appreciate. It's the Lumen. It's an Aggie-owned project developed by William Cole Companies, the same group that brought you the Traditions Club, the Stella Hotel, and Lakewalk. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or if you're looking for the next headquarters or family office, this is where innovation meets lifestyle. Now leasing at the Lumen. Learn more at LakeWalkTX.com. That is LakeWalkTX.com.
All right, we're talking about Burlebo, the heart of Texas, more than an outdoor lifestyle brand. It's products created with you in mind. Currently, I'm wearing the performance polo, the Texas Maroon and Gray. If you look into it, you've got the state of Texas in gray, and you also got it in maroon. It's one of their highest, most popular sales that they have there. It is really nice. Comfort and versatility. You can wear it in any situation. Quick drying, fits the size. But Burlebo, they're rooted in tradition, fueled by passion for the outdoors. Designs high-quality apparel that works just as hard as you do. So whether you're hitting a workout, enjoying a day of fishing, or cheering on your favorite college team, their gear is made for the athlete, the outdoorsman, and the everyday adventure. And it's really nice. I wore this one to church the other day. People talked about it. Really, my kids were like, "Yeah, Dad, you look pretty good today." From athletic shorts to your favorite go-to tees and performance hoodies, they have everything you want. Check out burlebo.com and find your new favorite gear. It's Burlebo for the athlete, for the outdoors, and for the family. Time for a little buy, sell, hold, brought to you by Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. If you want financial guidance that truly puts you first, visit paragon-adv.com. Mr. McGee and OB. So this one, I'm doing the most improbable champions ever, okay? And I know you've got the USA hockey team, the 1980 hockey team, but I didn't put them in this mix, okay? So I give you three different ones.
All right.
One of them is those Indiana Hoosiers.
Okay.
The other one is Buster Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen, are you familiar with Buster Douglas?
Vaguely, yes.
Oh, OB, how do we set it up? Mike Tyson was the baddest man in the world.
Yeah, and Buster Douglas beat him in Tokyo, I think.
And Buster Douglas was a nobody at the time. Yeah, and it was like amazing. And then I'm adding, this might be a little before your time too, Stephen, the 1999 St. Louis Rams. And the reason I'm putting them on there is that they were a team that was, 4-12 the year prior. Kurt Warner was their backup quarterback, comes in, kind of like Brady a couple years later, and leads them to the greatest show on turf.
When they beat
the Titans.
Was it the Titans that they beat at that time? Okay.
I believe they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl that year.
Who was the quarterback before he got hurt and Warner went in there? Was it Mark Bulger?
Green.
Yeah.
Trent Green.
Trent Green. Yeah, Trent Green.
Huh. I thought that was the year they actually beat the Patriots.
You might be right. I'm pretty sure. Cooper, double check that. I think the first one was the Titans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when they beat the Titans. I just thought that one when. But anyway.
All right. So I think I made it easy for you guys. Let's go because there's no chance McGee's picking Buster Douglas.
Yeah, that was my sell. I'm buying the Indiana Hoosiers. I think the odds were if you put in like $100, you made 10 grand. At the beginning of the year for them to win the championship, and then I'll lease the Rams. I remember that Super Bowl and Kurt Warner and the story and all that stuff, and it is pretty remarkable. Don't know anything about boxing. Sorry.
I'm buying Buster.
Yeah.
And I'm leasing or holding the Hoosiers. Buy Buster, hold Hoosiers. What's the other one? Lease? Sell Rams. Sell St. Louis.
I'm taking Buster too because I've had a whole year to kind of wrap my head around Indiana. I had one night to think, oh my gosh, Tyson lost?
Yeah.
Thank you, Steven. See you next time.
See you guys.
Thank you, OB.
Yeah.
Logan Lee next on TexAgs Live. And we're back. It is TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. We're going to talk a little Aggie basketball here for the next 20 minutes or so. We go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. Our friend Logan Lee is here with us. Logan, hello, sir. How are you?
Nuño, how are you doing?
I'm good, buddy. I'm really having fun this basketball season. It's fun. It's been fun. It's been a fun run.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good start, hasn't it?
Yeah. Are you one of those that's like, hey, this is fun, but relax. This roster's got limitations, so let's see how far we can go? Or is it like, no, this is fun, and this is going to continue to be fun?
Oh, I think it's going to continue to be fun. I don't think they're going to continue on the pace that they're going. They're going to run into some bumps and they're going to get some bruises, but I still think it's going to be fun along the way. There may be some scores that we don't like, but everything that this team has showed us so far, one, they're never going to give up. Two, they play a fun style of basketball. There hasn't been a game that I've watched this season where I just catch myself like smiling at that's the style of play. He just took a three with 29 seconds on the shot clock, and they've got this turnover, and here they go, they're on a roll. They're about to go on a 10-0 run. Like that's the excitement about it, is they can be down by 16 or 20 and still come back and make it a game and make it exciting, because with the way that they play, the intensity, the hustle, the really, as they've grown, the togetherness that they play with, they're exciting to watch, whether they're down, whether they're up, because that it's always going to be a game. They're always in it.
I'm going to do something that I said I'm going to try not to do, but I find myself doing it. Comparing the Buzz era to the Bucky era. And I'm not here to take a shot at Buzz. I'm just making a point. I feel like with Buzz, it's a process, right? Hey, I just dropped my water. It's a process to where in a season, you're probably not going to get the results that maybe a lot of people want, because he's got to get his guys to buy in. He's got this boot camp. He's got all these things that go into being a Buzz athlete. You got to read these books. You got to do this. You got to do that. And it's going to take time. And when you give it time, you get a really good basketball team. I feel like Bucky, it takes time to learn the system, but this is not a 2 or 3 year build. Is that how? Even though the roster may look completely different next year.
Every coach has a process. Every coach has a system, and players have to buy in to that system. It's just a matter of the ease at which you buy in and the comfortability level at which it comes. And Bucky's system, play fast, get a lot of shots up, but take good shots. And on offense, but on defense, play fast, and you have just a bunch of reads. Hey, if the guy bringing the ball up the court turns, if you see the number on the back of his jersey, go at him. That's a trap. If you see him at the 28-foot mark and he's got his back to the basket, go trap him. If whatever the scenario is, they're just a bunch of reads, and so players like to play basketball. The Buzz system, it's a very deliberate style of basketball. We only do this at this time. We can only make this happen if the defense does this. And if the defense doesn't do that, then we're going to have to start it over and we're going to have to do this. Well, no, Bucky, you're playing basketball. Go out, have fun, enjoy what you're doing, play as hard as you can. These are our systems and our rules. But it's a lot of reads. It's a lot of, hey, do you know basketball? Because if you do, you're going to be okay in this system. I mean, listen to Aggie's interview, post-game interview last night. They asked him, was it hard as your style of play? Was it hard to fit into this system to really get an understanding of your role? He said, you know what? I talked to Bucky. He said, we're going to make it work. You're a basketball player. You know how to play basketball. We're going to make it work. That's all you need to know. Do you know how to play basketball? Are you good enough to play at this level? Okay, let's go out and do it. And that's what they're doing.
I think that's really a refreshing quote from him, too, because oftentimes you have a coach that says, no, you got to do it this way.
What it sounds like Bucky's saying is, look, man, I know you know how to hoop, so we'll find a way to integrate your style into our style.
That's exactly what it is. And I mean, look, not everybody can play in the Bucky ball system, but if you're athletic, if you can score, if you can pass, if you can dribble, if you're willing to play defense, most likely you can play. The first one, if you're in shape, if you have the conditioning, if you allow him to get into the conditioning level, then you can play. And that's a lot of players. That's a lot of players out there. He's going to have a lot of options moving forward, especially starting off 5-1 in the first year, where everybody picked him to be down and out. He's making waves, and he's going to have some support from donors with NIL. He's going to have a lot of momentum on the recruiting trail and in the portal. I'm excited about where this thing is going.
Yeah, I am too. And he's got this likability to him. He gets us, we get him. His team plays a brand of basketball we can get down with. What did they do to make life so hard for Josh Hubbard beyond the relentless pursuit of defensive action, throwing people at him? Like, what do you think it was? Just the constant grind of the game?
I think it's like that for every player. The constant tempo and pace, and you're never. If you look at the way that this team plays defense, switching screens, trapping, run and jump. I mean, very seldom are guys just standing on offense, just standing open. Like they're just not. Now teams get open shots, and that's because of the rotation, and because sometimes offense is just good offense, and it's hard to defend it, especially when you're having to rotate. But very seldom are there just, oh man, that's a wide open shot without a defender. There's always someone flying at you. Even if you catch the ball and they're 10 feet away from you, you've got to understand they're running as fast as they can. It's not there's not really ever a weak closeout, because they're trying to run you off the spot. Because if they run you off the spot and you got to put the ball on the floor, you got another person running at you again. And as a offense coming into the game, you understand that. And so your immediate thought is, I've got to get this off now. Like I've got to be quick about it. We've got to make very quick decisions. And that rushes, that changes the pace that players aren't used to playing at all the time. And that throws your game off.
Logan, to follow that up, it felt like Mississippi State as a team was just like, all right, it's not our night in the second half. Like, not that they quit. I'm not saying that, but they just didn't want any part of that game.
Sometimes you catch a team on a bad night. You're having a good night, and you catch a team on a bad night, and it goes well for you. I feel like that's a little bit of what happened against Mississippi State and how the Bulldogs felt. But I also have to give credit to A&M and just the tenacity on offense and defense. I don't think we truly understand, as a fan and as people who haven't played in this system, I don't think we truly understand how tiresome it is to play against a team like Texas A&M. I go back to Auburn, where Pearl is saying, we would have loved to have pressed them more, but we couldn't because our guys were exhausted. Like they were prepping for this, and they still couldn't get ready for it, because it's hard to prepare for a team like this, because you can't replicate it in practice unless you're used to doing it. I mean, you look at A&M against Oklahoma State. This is not the same team. This is not, and this is a team. Bucky had them practicing the same style from, when was it? I guess August is when the entire team was there. So for 2 months, maybe 3 months, they had been playing that style of basketball, and they still weren't accustomed to getting in the condition that they are now. So imagine trying to be a one-off team, just prepping for it and trying to play as fast as you can. You're never going to be able to replicate that. And that's where I think A&M truly stifles some offenses because they haven't had that replication. When it comes to game time and the lights turn on, they're not used to it.
Yeah. Logan, what about that 19-5 run? All right, you got the back-to-back threes, and then, actually 3 threes, I should say, but just that incredible run right there where Rylan Griffin gets a couple of the threes, Jakari gets another one. I mean, that's the turning point of the game, right? That's where it all kind of changed.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about in the beginning is they go on they make 1 3, they get a steal, and then they shoot a 3 with 29 seconds on the shot clock, and they make that one, and you already know this could be a 15-0 run. This could be a 28 point or 11 points in 28 seconds. Like, you just never know when that's going to happen, but at some point you're expecting it. And when that does happen, it changes the tempo of the game. It changes the outcome of the game. And we saw it. We've seen it in almost every single game that A&M has won in SEC play. At some point, they go on a double-digit run, and it's hard for the other team to get back in the flow of it.
Here's a tweet from John Rothstein of CBS Sports. Bucky McMillan is emerging as the SEC Coach of the Year candidate. Texas A&M has won 8 of 9 after tonight's win over Mississippi State, and Rashawn Agee has been a revelation in College Station. True, true, true.
I think at this pace, yes. If you continue on it, obviously, yes. I want to see how the season plays out. I have full faith in not just this coaching staff but this team as well. But I still want to see how they perform against Arkansas, against Vanderbilt, against Florida. You name it. There's still a lot of basketball to be played. I think right now, hands down, Bucky has done the best job across the country, across the conference. Sorry. I guess I can't put into words how excited I am as to see where this program ends up, because there is so much more for them. There's so much more for them, and they're going to continue to do really positive things for the program that's going to put them in position to continue to grow this thing year after year.
To follow that up, there's a post on TexAgs that says, worth noting, A&M hasn't played anyone with a winning record in conference play. And while that may be true, the part that I don't really give a darn about is I don't care how they get invited to the tournament, and they were supposed to be the team that people were walking over to get on the way to a tournament bid, right? And A&M seems to be the one doing it right now.
Absolutely. Look, I'm going to go game by game. Yes, there's still a lot of basketball to be played. Yes, they still have to play against the Arkansas, the Vandies, everybody else. But who would have said starting out before season that they were going to be 5-1 in conference, and really had a chance to be 6-0 in conference, except for a double overtime loss to Tennessee in Knoxville? Like, anybody that said, yeah, they're going to be 5-1 in the first 6 games, and they're going to have all the momentum. Oh, and by the way, they're going to be blowing teams out along the way. Like, no. Anybody who says, yes, I predicted that, is a liar. Because there was nobody predicting that. Maybe outside of the actual basketball team and the staff. And even on the staff, I don't know if they would have predicted 5-1 with a double overtime loss to Tennessee and Knoxville. Be happy with what you got. I'm excited about it. Be happy with what you got, and let's see where this team goes, because who knows? We always talk about it. It's 0-0 when they throw the jump ball up, and anything can happen at that point. And with this team, you better believe anything can happen. Anything can happen if they're given the chance.
What do you think about the way Rylan, though, has kind of asserted himself as maybe that 1B player on this roster? Because we knew he had the ability in these last few games. It has certainly been on display. And I think this roster's also got the ability to have maybe one night it's going to be Ruben. But I feel like right now, the run that he's on has been fantastic.
It's been awesome. Coming in and him transferring from Kansas, being at Alabama before that, I thought that was the sign of he could be good in this system. That's where my hope came in that he was going to be really good for Bucky in the first year is that if you saw what he did with Nate Oates and you talked in the coaching circles and everybody was saying, Nate Oates wanted to keep him, just couldn't get it done. He had too many players, but he was very productive at Alabama. And you're thinking, okay, well, Bucky plays a very similar style. He's going to be good. And then he kind of started off a little slower in the non-conference. And you're thinking, man, he needs to come on. He needs to come on. He needs to come on. And all of a sudden, he has come on. And now we're talking about him as, hey, he's the one that started the run here. He's the one that started the run there. He's the one that kept the run going here. Hey, he had 2 really big threes at a timely point in the game. That's why A&M won this. Like, it's coming to fruition of this is what he thought he could be. Now we need to see him be consistent with it, especially as they get deeper into conference play.
Logan, do you think that maybe the size disadvantage that this roster is built with is actually an advantage for them, the way they attack games?
Yes and no. I think I really wish we had one more big, strong physical presence in there, whether that be Jamie Vincent or Federico playing the way we wanted him to play before the season started. If they had those two guys, and I think or one of those two guys playing to what we thought their abilities were, I think this team is much better. But with what they have now and the size that they are bringing to the table, I think they play with a chip on their shoulder, knowing that team's bigger, that team's stronger, but they're not faster, and speed kills. And they're going to go out and utilize that. And I think they use that as preparation to really get the game going and to say, okay, now's the time to turn it up. And so they use it as a chip on their shoulder, in my opinion. But man, if we had one of Jamie or Fetty and having them active and doing what we thought they were going to do before the season, I think that would change this team a lot. And I'd be even more excited than I already am about where they could go.
That is the great Logan Lee here on TexAgs Live. Logan, we appreciate it, buddy.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Nuño. Have a good day.
Later, buddy. Logan Lee there on the Bubby's Catering and Bartending Hotline. We'll hit a break. We'll come back. Open segment. We'll find out what's going on TexAgs today. Right now, a moment for Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online at CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com. In today's fast-paced world, Caldwell Country Chevrolet brings that car buying experience right to your fingertips. You can browse their constantly updated inventory online, and they have amazing deals that do change month to month. You can find your perfect match. You can calculate your trade-in value and even start the financing process all from the comfort of your home or your vehicle, wherever you may be. And they have more than just great deals. They are a proud supporter of Aggie athletics. They have numerous local charitable organizations that they're a part of, and they're deeply invested in this awesome community. If you're ready to experience the difference, make the short drive to discover what many of your neighbors have already figured out, that Caldwell Country Chevrolet is the place to go. It's about a 15-minute drive. The edge of Bryant, beginnings of Caldwell, a short conversation away, but you'll see when you step on the lot and do business with the great people at Caldwell Country Chevrolet. Highway 21 in Caldwell, online, CaldwellCountryChevrolet.com.
I wish I had Olin here for it because he loves energy drinks. Catalyst Citrus Spark. This is one of the new flavors out there. Whether you're grinding through workouts, cramming for a test, or closing in on a deal, or getting ready for TexAgs Live, you never know, right? Fast becoming the go-to fuel for Aggies everywhere. Zero sugar, I'm all in for that. Or synthetic sweeteners, no artificial colors or flavors. Catalyst delivers clean, high-performance energy with smooth, crisp taste that is never syrupy, designed for both health and hustle. You want to get going, you use this Catalyst right here. It's about pure energy and pure results. And what sets them apart? Packed with premium nootropics blended to boost focus, clarity, and mental stamina. I need this. I'm in, guys. I'm in. Plus, with plant-based caffeine, vitamin B12, B6, Catalyst supports metabolism and energy production, making it more than a drink. It's your lifestyle training partner. Built for competitors on the field, Catalyst fuels strength, focus, and pure results. Buy now at drinkcatalyst.com. That is drinkcatalyst.com. Train harder, think sharper. pure results. It's Catalyst. All right, Nick, Coop, question for you. I want you to go back to your brain in March, a couple days after Buzz leaves, okay? I don't think they had hired a coach yet. You knew that everybody was either going to graduate, move on, right? And Buzz leaves and takes players with him, okay? What did you guys think was probably going to happen this season? I just wanted, like, because I
not much.
Okay, right? Didn't we all think, Cooper, that it'd probably be a rough basketball season?
No, yeah, I didn't have high expectations either. I didn't expect much, but I was definitely excited about the future of the program.
Before they got Bucky, you were excited.
Oh, Nick knows this. I wasn't even an intern anymore. I texted Nick. I was so happy that Buzz left. I was on the Buzz Williams hate train long ago.
I wasn't. I mean, I think he reached his ceiling with this program. And, would I like to have Solo here, right?
I like Solo.
Or Pharrell Payne, another
and
year.
Pharrell. Those are the two guys I like.
Would I have liked to have had them? Yeah, they were fun. I really enjoyed covering that group of players. Like that whole era of Aggie basketball, I really enjoyed it. I love hoops, and I liked seeing a team that fought, and Buzz was really good at designing that. So I had no problem with that. But I did think when Buzz left that, all right, it's going to be a lean couple of years. And then they hired Bucky, and I had that moment of, well, maybe. This guy, everything I'm reading about him, everything I'm seeing, his press conference, maybe. If he gets a couple of players, maybe it'll be fun next year. Then he does really well in the portal. Gets McKenzie, gets all these guys. Was it Holloway? No, it wasn't Holloway. Who was his first one? Maybe it was Jakari. Whoever his first one was, I was starting to think, all right, we're getting ourselves a team. And then Rashawn Agee becomes a player. And you have that, I hope this works kind of vibe, and maybe they can be a tournament team. I think the Oklahoma State game, there was a couple times this year where you're like, I don't know, right? And then McKenzie's not healthy, and you're like, wow, I mean, it's probably going to be So I guess that it goes back to that point on TexAgs about that we haven't played anybody yet. And that's true. I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the way. None of us do. None of us could have predicted where we are today. But here sitting in January with a long way to go, I recognize that. Bucky has built a team that feels like they could be a tournament team, right? And after that hard stretch, we may have different feelings, right? But I don't think we will, because they already got 5 wins, right? If they win against South Carolina, they're more than halfway to that 10 mark that we think, that mythical 10 mark that we're using as a maybe they'll get in the tournament. So in 1 year, he has built what feels like a tournament team. And then one of the beauties of a Buzz Williams team is that he recruited these guys that became Aggie household names. Henry Coleman, right? Dexter Dennis, who was only here a year, a rental, right? Wade Taylor, obviously. Andy. He got these guys that we started to fall in love with, and we got to see them for several years, and that was fun. But even the ones that were here for a short time. Bucky's doing that with this squad right now. Rashawn Agee is already a guy that I think we're going to remember for a long time, right? I think Ruben's going to be one of those guys. You've got several. I mean, you look at that roster up and down, you think to yourself, all right, they're building something. And I do think their size, I don't know if advantage, that's the way I phrased it to Logan. So I don't know if it's an advantage, but they use their size and their quickness as an advantage, right? All right, you guys are much bigger and faster than, or bigger and stronger than us. All right, we're going to beat you on the edges. We're going to be first to the ball. We're going to attack the rim. We're going to force you to adjust your game to what we do. And I think that's part of what their charm is. Now, do they have the roster, the size to be a championship caliber SEC team? Because that's what we thought about that Aggie team last year. They have a chance to compete for the SEC. Before SEC schedule started, we're like, can this team win an SEC championship? And Buzz's teams, towards the end, typically fared pretty well in the SEC. I don't know, right? But I don't think that's the story. The story is, whatever we thought the ceiling was before, I feel like this ceiling right now feels, again, very premature to be significantly higher. So props to what they're doing, the way they're building it, and props to hope. Because I think as fans and people who follow the program, all we can ask for is hope. And for you to just lay it all out on the floor, and those guys have certainly done that. Cooper, what do you have for us at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center on TexAgs Today?
TexAgs Today. So I'm actually going to break the rules. I'm going to go to yesterday because we've got some things that came out last night that they didn't talk about on the show. We have Pick 'em and Rip 'em with Matthew Dawson and Luke Evangelist. They did talk a lot about the Mississippi State game last night on there. They also talked about some of your NFL playoff matchups there. We also have the Pass Back with Aggie Softball's Grace Sparks. That was a great interview by Kay Nagley. Mm-hmm. And then this morning we had Luke's men's basketball 5 thoughts for Texas A&M's 88-68 victory over Mississippi State last night. Great read. And then later, we'll have Kay covering our women's basketball game against number 6 LSU. There'll be live coverage on the site. As well, we have NIL interviews with Jakari Lane and Weston Moss. And then lastly, we'll have Olin's column, which will be a really interesting statistical comparison between Texas A&M and Indiana on the football field. See where we fared, where we were different, where we were similar to the national champions.
Good stuff there, Coop. Thank you very much for that. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back with Aaron Torres of Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. Get his thoughts on everything going on with Aggie basketball. We'll talk about the national championship. We'll talk about the future. We'll talk about the SEC. We'll talk about whatever we talk about. Right now, let's talk about Heritage Films, agricultural families. I think they understand things that city folks sometimes often miss, and that's just because their hands are dirty, right? They work on their land. They get it. And that grit, that work ethic needs to be bottled. And sometimes the only way to bottle it is by modeling it and also leaving examples for the future generations. And that's what I think Heritage Films does so well, is that if you want to tell your family story, your family ranch story, your family business story, you obviously have to show it, you have to model it, but you also have to leave some evidence for the future generations to know exactly what this land is all about, what your family is all about. And that's what Chance McClain and his team does with these 2-hour documentaries that they're doing for just normal folks. Call Chance McClain up, and I think you're going to love it. These 2-hour documentaries for your family is a time capsule that's going to just preserve your family name and your family legacy from here on out. The phone number is 713-893-8341, 713-893-8341, or visit yourheritagefilm.com. It is Heritage Films.
All right, we're back here on TexAgs Live. We are presented by David Gardner's Jewelers. We are in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Let's talk to our buddy Aaron Torres with Around College Football, brought to you by Milliken Reserve, a College Station community featuring homes, trails, farms, and wide open spaces with a mission to build a healthy community around nature. Take part in the Milliken Reserve community with a Conservancy membership. Learn more at millikenreserve.com. With that, we go to the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. AT from Aaron Torres Online and Fox Sports Radio. What up, buddy?
David Nuño, what's up, bud? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good. I wish when I knew that I wanted to get into covering sports media or be in the sports media, I wish I had known that I needed an advanced law degree and, need to be able to read court documents all day because it feels like this is what this job turned into. But I'll tell you what, and we talk about it every year, is it sure does make the offseason fly by. When everybody's getting sued, nobody wants to play by the rules. It has certainly created plenty for us to discuss.
Man, I am really trying to figure out the whole Alabama situation. Like, how do you play pro in the sport? Like, I know that, like, in the past, like, people played professional baseball and came back to play college football, right? Like, I knew that was a thing. But I didn't know it was a thing to play professional basketball in the United States, not even in the Spanish league, and come here and be like, you know what? I think it's okay. You're going to play some more college basketball. I think you guys still got time.
Well, it's not okay unless your name is Ryan Fowler and the NCAA is out to get you and your school. No, this is a fascinating story, and I don't know how much an A&M fan cares, but I'll just explain very quickly what makes this different than, say, what happened at Baylor. It's exactly what you said, is that, one, the Baylor kid did play professionally, and to your point, Texas A&M is one of many that has guys that played professionally in Europe. What's different is that this kid at Alabama played college basketball, renounced his rights, went pro, went undrafted, signed multiple professional contracts with the NBA directly, and now wants to come back because he's not good enough. And so, I know there's all sorts of jokes with every fan base that, oh, who can we get back? And I saw our buddy Gabe Bach like, oh, bring back AC Law, bring back Tyler Davis. But, like, that's basically what Alabama is arguing, is that, hey, wasn't good enough. And, hey, if we're going to let professionals in, then this guy should play. I know it's tough to figure out where the line is. And unfortunately, the line is constantly moving. But this one feels pretty cut and dry to me. Like I said, I love Ryan to death, but I think he's dead wrong on this. And, I'm curious to see if the NCAA can do anything to stop this. But, Nuño, it sure does look like Alabama is going to be playing a player this weekend who quite literally played a G League game last weekend. Welcome to college sports in 2026.
So let me be very clear. Anything that helps A&M, I'm okay with. And I understand that that's not fair. But I just like, if it's going to help A&M, okay, fine. I'll turn a blind eye. That's a terrible way to look at life, but that's how I am as a sports fan when it comes to my team. That being said, I don't understand how an organization has no power. So if the NCAA doesn't really have power, why do we have the NCAA? Can we make an organization that has power? And this goes for all sports. Like, there's some football rules I'd like to get fixed. There's some basketball rules. I like structure. I like order. Can we fix it, please? And I don't know how you fix it because there's no guy who's going to be like, I got it. I'll take it from here. And then everybody's going to get on board.
The man who hasn't had a beer in 20 years likes structure. I'm not surprised by that at all. So there you go. That explains the thing. No, man, listen. So I agree with you. I do think, and it's not anything anybody wants to hear in the moment. I think we're in this weird transition where we were doing things a certain way for 100 years. It has been flipped on its head in the span of about 3 to 4 years. And now we're just trying to figure out what the next thing looks like. But what I will say is, I understand from the NCAA's perspective of they try, the biggest thing, David, and I'll be quick on this because, I can go long, is that the NCAA has tried to put in rules. The problem is every single time a rule gets put into place, somebody goes to court and they fight them on it. It's easy to forget this now. The NCAA did put in a one-time transfer rule. Mac Brown was one of the most vocal advocates for it at UNC. And then Mac Brown's best player was a 2-time transfer, and he, basically cried to the media like a baby until he got his way. You can go on and on down the list. We tried to put it in this house settlement that capped spending at $20.5 million. Schools refused to sign it. So I do think there needs to be some power that be. But I think, and this comes back down to every issue in college sports right now, is that and this is where I give somebody like Cody Campbell, the Texas Tech booster, is, well, Cody Campbell, basically, all he's fighting for is a system where there's where there's everybody's fighting in the same direction, right? What makes the NFL different than the NBA, or the NFL and the NBA different than college sports, is that all 32 owners have to, make decisions which are best for the 31 other teams in the NFL. And, every time something like a college football commissioner comes up, I say there'll never be a college football commissioner, because the SEC, it's not only not in their best interest to work with the Big Ten, it's actually counterintuitive to work with the Big Ten or the Big 12 or whatever. And so that's why you see quite literally every issue that we have in college sports. It could be something as simple as, do we expand the playoff? How many teams? It's clear the SEC wants 16. It's clear the Big Ten wants however many, blah, 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 this and that. So I could go on and on. That's the fundamental problem, but I don't disagree with the fundamental issue, which is at some point somebody needs to take charge of this thing. I actually think the NCAA is trying to do what they can. They just know, unfortunately, they're going to lose pretty much anytime they go to court in a situation like this.
AT Buckyball, give it to me, man. They certainly gave it to Mississippi State.
Yeah, who doesn't need a bunch of pros? Bucky McMillan. His team is a bunch of pros, and I mean that just dominating everybody. Listen, I said this last week. The near win at Tennessee, and I think there were people that were hesitant to get too excited. I said, wait a second now. You won at Auburn. You should have beat Tennessee at Tennessee. This is a real team, and the thing I'll say is, besides the A&M aspect of how awesome it is, and the story I told last week of being on a panel and Bucky was on the next one and he canceled his panel because he was about to go interview for the A&M job. The SEC is wide open, and there's no great team in the SEC this year. And listen, I don't think it's hyperbole to say that an SEC regular season title is within reach. Like, forget making the NCAA tournament. I think you can win the whole darn thing. I think Florida's pretty good, but they're not what they were last year. You could have beaten Tennessee. You already beat Auburn. Kentucky's won 4 in a row, but they're banged up. Arkansas is good, but they only play well at home. Like, this league is there for the taking. And by the way, it's not just Texas A&M. I'm going to say the same thing when I go on in Fayetteville next tomorrow. So that's, to me, the bigger story, is that basically anything that you want to accomplish in year one is probably on the table. The SEC is wide open. And I can't wait to see how this thing keeps continuing, obviously, with 2 more wins since we last spoke last Thursday.
Yeah, AT, I'm in a weird place where I still think, I don't know about back to reality is what's going to happen, but they have a really hard stretch coming that even elite teams would struggle with. And I know that's life in the SEC, but, there's going to be a 5-game stretch where they're taking on nothing but ranked teams. So, I think they will maybe take a step back to reality, but I still think it doesn't matter. Like, this team has a chance to make the tournament. This team has a chance to compete for a top 4 seed. This team, and there's no way a year ago or, 8 months ago we would have said that.
No. And the other part too, and I know A&M fans know this, but the part that I keep going back to is, listen, in this era, it's easier than ever, obviously, to rebuild a team in one off season. But Bucky didn't have a normal offseason. And again, I referenced the fact that I know that he spoke to you specifically about this when he joined you in studio a few months ago, or a few days after he got the job, which is that, he was the last guy to get the job. And remember, the portal, and I know you know this, but like, the portal was open when he got the job. So it wasn't like, he gets the job a week before the season's over, a week after the season ends, and the portal still doesn't open for another 2 weeks. No. This was a situation where he got the job, and the portal, I can't say it was picked clean, but he certainly didn't have his first pick of guys because a lot of the best players were off the board. So, yeah, I think this is, to your point, the schedule is going to get tougher. but I still think this is one of the best stories in college football, certainly the best conversation in the SEC. And again, I think you can win the SEC regular season title. I think you can. Bucky should probably be the favorite right now for SEC Coach of the Year, and I think it's an exciting time for Aggies fans on the basketball court. And one more thing.
Yeah.
It's a fun style to watch, too, which obviously, helps after maybe the last couple of years you couldn't quite say the same.
AT, this Indiana run and this Big Ten run these last 3 years, who's the SEC's best hope for a championship, you think, over the next 12 months in football?
Just the next 12 months?
Yeah, just next year. Like if you were to say next year, is it Georgia? Is it Texas? Is it A&M? Or is it like, man, I don't know?
No, I do think it's Texas because for all the criticism that we all had, or at least that I had, Arch did play very well down the stretch. Obviously Alabama's going to be breaking in a new starter. I know A&M has Marcel Reed back, but, listen, there's some pushback when people let me say this. It is very clear that Texas is all in next year. We know that they spent an arm and a leg to get Cam Coleman. We know they spent an arm and a leg to flip Hollywood Smothers. And so it feels like they're all in for next year. And so by default, that makes them the best, the most likely team. What I would say is, one, I don't know that I fully trust Sark, but two, and I forget if we talked about this, David, so much happens in December now. The Will Muschamp hire, it feels like something out of a 2009 playbook. Like, does Will Muschamp, is he the guy that comes in and changes your defense overnight? I don't know. Maybe he will be, but that to me is actually the biggest concern with Texas. They have the quarterback. They have the weapons on offense. I'm just not sold that defense is going to make leaps and bounds under Will Muschamp. Like I said, feels like kind of a hire that you would have made 10 years ago. That feels less flashy than it would have, when it happened. It feels like it feels like it would have been. They were trying to get the splash from 2009 and 2026, and I just don't know that it moves the needle in that way, at least in my opinion.
AT, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much.
All right, we'll talk soon, my man. Have a great afternoon.
Later, brother. Thank you. AT there on the Buppy's Catering and Bartending Hotline. I see a bunch of text messages on the Catalyst Pure Performance Energy text line. We'll get to those here in a moment. If you're looking for real peace of mind when it comes to your money, check out Aggie-owned Paragon Financial Advisors. They're an independent fiduciary serving clients all across Texas. No sales pitches, no commissions, just honest financial planning and investment management. And what sets them apart is the over 9 CFPs, the CFA, the CPA, all on staff, and they take their credentials seriously, and they work tirelessly to help you build a future that you can feel good about. Go to paragon-adv.com or give them a call, 979-693-3907, to schedule your free consultation today. It is Paragon Financial Advisors. Integrity, expertise, and trust. Paragon Financial Advisors.
What's up, everybody? I'm here to tell you about Fratella Italian Cafe. If anyone knows anything about Italian food, it's me, Billy Lucci. And Fratella has the best Italian food in BCS. Located at 3901 South Texas Avenue, Fratella is known for their handmade pasta dishes and feature lasagna, beef cannelloni, chicken parmesan, chicken fettuccine alfredo, a couple of my favorites, just a big old bowl of plain old spaghetti and some manicotti. Really recommend the manicotti. That's my go-to. And don't walk out of there without trying the fresh, piping hot breadsticks and the homemade in-house cheesecake, which is incredible. It's great for dining in, catering, gift cards, and even shipping, which they do nationwide. Fratella's is Aggie-owned and operated, and it's an official restaurant partner of Texas A&M Athletics. I'll see you there.
I can't stop the chaos coming. At 10 a.m., the fan show brought to you by Prize Picks is coming. I tried to stop it. I tried everything I could. No Browning, no Roy, no Hunter. You can't come. I tried. Couldn't. I mean, I was overruled. There was a meeting in the back. Like, no, we're going to do the fan show every week. Like, really? And they go, yeah, in fact, we're just going to do the fan show every day. It's like, no, I put my foot down. They'll be here in a few minutes. Let's go to the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Cooper Patterson, the poor kid. I feel sorry for you. Like when I'm not hot sports take Jake typically, right? Typically I just talk and but when I am passionate about a topic, I will not stop.
You've just been pummeling him at the breaks.
I haven't gotten a word out in the last 2 breaks.
No, he was trying to tell me about a certain NBA player that's the best ever, and this conversation comes up too much because young people think they know, and then they run into a guy who actually knows, and it just changes the conversation. So I apologize to you for having to be schooled. Something that other men should have done in your life and told you, no, you don't know jack about
My dad
basketball.
tries to tell me.
Yeah. Did he come with the stats?
No, he didn't know the
Okay.
stats.
Well, I get paid to know the stats sometimes. Gabe Bach really knows stats. I forget stats. He remembers everything. I give him credit for that. Anyway, you go.
We've got a text from Wendy. This is really interesting. It's kind of built off what Trey said earlier in the show, where he talked about go get Braden Montgomery and Chris Cortez, all those guys back. She came with not a joking angle, but a really serious angle. She said, this can really affect baseball, as almost every player will leave 1 or 2 years of eligibility on the table and never make it out of the minors. What about signees who go to the minors out of high school? This is not sustainable.
It's not sustainable, but the NCAA can't win any court cases. Let's get one more text in.
We've got one from David in Franklin. He says, I think Stephen McGee just said what the formula might be to win in many sports, at least for the next few years under the current college sports system. That is to get veteran players that have produced at other schools and want to put the team in front of themselves. Then he goes on to say, I think Coach McMillan and the Aggie basketball team is showing this so far as well.
Yeah. Look at this team, built with a bunch of older guys. Coach Okel's done it too. All right, that'll do it. Indiana certainly did it. When we come back, that show I was telling you about that has no name, just a bunch of dudes talking with a mic. It's next. TexAgs.
3 turnovers in the game, that's fantastic. You have 3 turnovers in a 40-minute SEC basketball game. That's unheard of. You may watch the SEC play all year and not see that happen again with any team. I'd like to see the last time that happened, and particularly with us, as fast as we play, as many possessions that we play with. Then we went 23 or 24 from the line. So that was great. I thought we actually had a lot of looks and layups and things that we just didn't make in the game. We felt like we could have scored more points in the game. But we got shots up. One of our emphasis was we got to get more offensive rebounds, and we got to have a couple less turnovers to improve our offense. And we did that. We won the turnover battle by 10. Offensive rebounds was 11 and 11, and we had I guess we had less opportunities to get those, I would assume, just because we made a couple more shots. So that was good. The end. Question.
What leads to a night that you only have 3 turnovers?
We emphasized it and just say, hey, this is where we got to get better. I challenged a couple with offensive rebounding. I challenged everybody with taking care of the ball, and they responded. Like I said, this is not a team. You just got to kind of tell them what to do, and they listen and they believe in it. And we see the progression of us getting better. And we took a step forward. That was our goal. I think y'all asked me during the media, what do you want to see after Tech? I want to see us get better. And we got better at the areas we got better. That makes me a happy coach, because that makes it enjoyable.
How did y'all do such a good job containing Hubbard?
Just try to wear him down, lean on him. I mean, he's a good player, obviously. You just got to kind of do it collectively. And he's going to get his. But hopefully in the second half, he's dealt with a lot of harassment. And what do they say? You want to play mother-in-law defense on him? Constant nagging and harassment. And so you try to do that the whole game, and hopefully it has a cumulative effect on him.
Ryan was in here looking at the minutes of players and seeing that they had more rotation than they normally do because of the way y'all play. From you who's seen this system for so long, is there a point in the game where you can usually see that, okay, this is really wearing on them, and maybe it was the point tonight?
Well, we had a spurt there when we got going, where we had that run, made a couple threes, and you looked up, and I think it got to 11 pretty quick. That was a good point for us in the game. I don't like to comment on the other team. I'll let the other coach determine how it wore on them. I can just say we try to play as hard as we can play at all times, just like every team does. And hopefully if we have depth, which we do have depth, that it takes its toll in that way, and that we have guys that when they're on that court, they can be on a full gas tank. But Coach Jancy does a great.
All right. We needed 3 minutes to set up this no-desk fan show presented by Prize Picks. Hey, friends.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, we didn't say it the right way. The fan show.
Fan show.
Not really a lot of energy in here. I think the relaxed look has kind of taken away the vibes.
I dig it.
I can nap.
Yeah. This is your first time to do it this way.
Yeah, I like this. This is like old school TV talk show.
I don't think your mic is on. That's unfortunate. Hey, by the way, this is brought to you by Prize Picks, the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform in North America, where the easiest and most exciting way to play DFS is you against the numbers. Instead of battling thousands of players, including the pros and the sharks, you pick more than or less than 2 to 6 player stat projections and watch the winnings roll. PrizePicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. We've got Roy May over there. Hello, Roy.
What's going on?
Hunter Sherliff right here.
Mike is on.
Mike is on.
Let's go.
And Mateo Browning right over here. What's up, buddy?
Man, I'm doing good. How are you this morning?
So let's go to Cooper Patterson there at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. I don't know if I prepared him for this. Do you know what to ask to start off the show?
No clue.
Gosh, you got to pay attention, Patterson. All right, I'll do it for you. You always ask the fan show guys. The first question is, what's on your mind? And we're going to start things off with Browning.
Hey, all right, cool. Well, obviously, I'm pretty sure what's on my mind is what's on everybody's after that game last night. Just an outstanding performance by that team. I was reading Olin's article this morning. I did not realize that we only had 3 turnovers in the entire game. And I think what did he say? We went 23 of 24 from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Just an absolutely stellar performance all around. Mississippi State may not be the top of the conference, but they're not a bottom dweller either. They're a good team. They have one of the best players in the SEC.
Yep.
We kept in check, and it was really, really, really just an overall outstanding performance, just really good. But it got me thinking, like, and this is kind of a weird, how well coached this team is, right? Who's our best player? Who's the best player on this basketball team?
Rashawn Agee.
I mean, you think that's absolutely without a doubt
Yeah, I do.
But is he leaps and bounds above everybody else?
I think he is the most consistent best player on the roster.
I think he's the most important player on the roster for sure. His age, his experience, what he brings, the grit, and everything. But there are nights where any one of those guys can fill it up.
Oh yeah.
My reason for asking that is that it's one of those where you don't have some team where you've got a superstar or two, and then anyone and everyone is contributing, and that is a product of coaching. We're talking about a team that got thrown together. 3 months ago, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And is now at the top of the SEC standings? That is unbelievable. I mean, genuinely, if you really think about it, like AT was saying, he said, I think Bucky's a front runner right now for SEC Coach of the Year. Now, you said, we do have the harder stretch. We've not really gotten into the top of the conference yet and playing those teams, but
for me, sorry, Matt. For me, that part is almost like, it doesn't bug me, because I had such little expectations this year. The fact that we're talking about it, to me, is the win.
I mean, it's already, I would say right now, this is what's crazy. Right now, I'd say that we've already had a successful season.
Right, and there's a lot of teams that they haven't played the meat or all the good teams, and they're sitting at 2-4 or whatever.
Right.
So, but you're right, Matt. Certainly the depth on this team. There's a lot of guys getting minutes.
Yeah.
Right. So it's fun to watch everybody come in.
Any night.
Such a big change. I went to some early games, right? The non-conference. It was certainly different from what you watch now.
Hey, I'm proud of you for going to basketball.
I've been to like 4 now.
Hey, look at you.
Yeah.
Hunter's a football, baseball guy. He's not a big basketball.
Well, I'm an Aggie sports guy. I have issues with basketball that we don't need to talk about right now.
with the sport of basketball? But this new program, you're all in.
No, I'm down with the Aggies and the team. I think it's a sport where the refs over control it and they control everything. So that's my problem with it.
What's on your mind this morning?
Hey, I'm still going back to Monday night, right? National
let's
Championship. Go. Weirdly, found myself like pulling for Miami at some point in the game.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, but I just did. I think it was because I'm bitter that the Ags were not playing in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was bitter, maybe, of Indiana's success.
Well, I mean, you like Nuño, so you're going to root for Miami.
Yeah. Anyway, I like some of their players. I liked Malachi Tony. I liked Big Stewart, number 4. There were some things to like about that. And I dig Indiana. Signetti's such a great story.
Yep.
But people are saying, can it be duplicated? There's been a lot of talk on that. I think that's a different mix, man. You got a great coach and coaching staff, but like everything had to happen just right with that team and his players.
Dude, so Mendoza, I mean, he is fun to watch. And that touchdown play, like, that's what I want from my guy, right? Like, leave it all out on the field for that national championship.
That was the play of the game. I thought the punt block was the difference in the game.
Yes.
For the touchdown, but that was certainly the play of the game, and that'll be remembered forever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is, Mendoza didn't have like an all-star night by any means. He didn't get to 200 yards, but like McGee hit on it a good bit. He's the guy that can make, most of the throws. He controls the field well. He controls the team well. He's a leader, obviously. Yep. And that run was just, that's kind of an all-timer when you think about national championship plays.
He seems like such a great kid, too.
Yeah.
He really does. Indiana should be very proud of him.
But I was watching the pregame all kind of, in the afternoon and then leading up to the game day special. And
the 9 hours of pregame.
I know, but they were showing the stadium. And we had already reserved, a VRBO on Hollywood Beach. And, I was ready to proceed into the playoffs.
Hey, not only were they not interested in hiring him, neither was hiring him.
Mississippi State,
but not hiring him. Sorry, signing him. But also Florida International
Mendoza.
in his back. Yeah,
and FAU, FAU and
FAU. I mean, like, do you think FIU would have won some games with Mendoza? I think they would have done well.
I'll give you the Freudian slip on hiring, though, because we're pretty much hiring players.
Oh, this is a good point. Roy, what's on your mind?
I'm going to go back even further. I'm going to go back to the Texas basketball game.
Oh, nice. Let's go.
And during the week, before that, we played Tennessee on the road. Knoxville is considered one of the hardest places to play in college basketball. It's a fantastic environment for basketball. The Volunteers love basketball. And Volunteer fan base in general is just kind of psychotic about their sports. They are.
Yep.
And Louis had brought it up. Just kind of, I was driving around town, and Louis brought it up. The one thing you didn't want to do last week was lose 2. You didn't want to go 0-2 in a week. And you were on the road at Tennessee, and then you had to go on the road at Texas. So it's already a tall task, right, to just get one of those. And the Tennessee game was so good, such a tight game. We talked about it last week. But to be able to go into Austin and beat them, right, and to see Venson kind of get a little revenge for, seeing him get some time. But it was just it's kind of one of those things where you look at this program. And again, I know that we haven't played, however you want to, kind of present it. We haven't played the top teams in the SEC, but we are the top team in the SEC right now. So just, take that for what it's worth. But to be able to bounce back 2 straight road games, bounce back on the road against a rival who had started to come into form. They had 2 top 10 wins before we played them. And so it's not like a program or year-defining moment, but for them to be able to come back and do that and then come home and, like you said, shoot 95% from the stripe, only had 3 turnovers, hold Hubbard to 12 points, and win comfortably. That was just a comfortable game. But I agree with you. I think AG is the most important person on the team. I think the most exciting player to watch is Dominguez, because when he gets hot, he's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, it's straight up out of, the old video game. He's heating up. He's on fire. Like, just from anywhere, anytime, he'll just jack it up. He goes. It reminds me of number 4 from last year, but with a higher percentage.
Oh, yeah. Now, and hey, you got to give Pop Isaacs. That guy is, talk about grit, too.
That dude can play. Well, he's getting a ton of minutes, too.
Yeah, he's so great. I mean, he is just, he and AG, guys like that are the guys that you just absolutely want to root for. And it's a guy like AG is the kind of guy that will come in, play here 1 year. It's all he's got. He's going to be here 1 year, and he'll be remembered for a very, very long time, just because of not only how he plays, but his off the court stuff too. That he is. We went to that meet and greet thing at the players, and that he was the most jovial, most come over and talk to you. He was shaking hands, and just a super impressive young man.
Well, and his little barb, like in the press conference, against Texas, that'll be remembered. And I don't know if you guys saw the clips from the press conference last night after the game. Rylan Griffin, I guess at some point Hubbard asked him, he was like, "Are you guys going to stop pressing? Because I'm tired." He goes, "Yeah, man, unfortunately, no, we're not going to stop." Like, Hubbard, during the game, asked him, he goes, "Are you guys ever going to stop pressing? We're getting tired."
Guys, the Indiana story might be the greatest sports story that I've watched. Might be. But I want to ask you guys, what is the greatest sports story that you've actually watched? Okay? Either you watched it on TV, you watched it in person, or you have not stuff that happened in the 1940s for you. Okay, I'm talking about like in the modern era of sports. What is the greatest sports story you have seen?
It's tough because there's going to be a lot of bias for me. Because it'd be the ones I've watched are my teams. But when you said that, 2 popped in my mind right out of the gate. Gillespie's touchdown in the I guess it was the Orange Bowl, wasn't it? The Gator Bowl.
Gator Bowl.
Yeah. So whichever one where he got that touchdown, where he just absolutely grinded and had to bounce off 12 guys and score a touchdown. I thought that was awesome. I thought that was one of the coolest things. I've got 3. So, but the bonfire game.
Bonfire game, yeah.
Bonfire game, to come back and win that game after that week and everything. And then the San Antonio Spurs 2014 season, after they lost the year before, the way they lost. So for me, but all those are biased. All those are my own personal things. If I look out, there are far better sports stories out there beyond that. So I'm aware I'll have to think about it. But Indiana that one's tough to beat. Yeah. It really is.
Yeah, I was thinking, and those are good. Those are kind of individual performance type stuff. Mine, personally, again, the back-to-back Houston Rockets seasons, because I was in Houston at the time. That was a fun city, right? That place was alive. That was a lot of fun to go through that. And then even closer to home, I think the 2012 season, and specifically Johnny, right? A guy that kind of came out of nowhere, red shirt, and then takes the country by storm. Now, I'm not talking about anything before or after that, just the Johnny football season, the way it captured America. I think that was a great story.
Yeah, I'll second both of those, because I was in Houston for the Rockets. Yeah. And I was, the Hakeem Olajuwon show, man. And for him to beat Shaq and Patrick Ewing, those were so fun.
And David Robinson.
Everybody basically. Yeah, he was just unbelievable. He was so fun to watch. I wasn't alive for it. Obviously, the Miracle on Ice, but he's close. Well, I was alive. I was alive, but that's about it.
Barely. You were barely alive.
Barely. Yeah, the Johnny thing, I think, and And it didn't culminate really in the Cotton Bowl. I think the pinnacle of that season obviously was in Tuscaloosa. That's a memory I will always have. Having friends over watching the game, and really not expecting to win by any means, and then just to have that game and the way that specific game played out as well. And really, I think one of the great, and it's not necessarily positive. I think the Johnny story is a great moment. I mean, you want to go do a 74-piece documentary about Johnny Manziel. It's spectacular. Whether it's good or bad, it's spectacular.
I got one. I mean, so it's interesting. I was sitting here thinking about this because you dropped this on us, and my brain's having to. But you've got all sorts of different ways you could go with this: individual human stories to team stories, everything else. I mean, Sir Parker's entire story. I mean, they made a movie about it.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that movie? Y'all remember that movie about They Call Me Sir? He grew up with by himself, basically. He grew up essentially homeless with his little brother or something, if I remember how this went. Stories of guys like Rodney Thomas. I mean, love the story about how a vending machine broke in the dorm and everybody was just stealing stuff out of it. And he went up to his room and got quarters and just started plunking quarters in. These are all, obviously, like I said, these are all A&M related or close to home type of things. But I mean, the Regard Marshall thing. I mean, there's all sorts of awesome stories out there.
Well, I'll give you one more. You've actually brought it up before because there's a book and there's a documentary about it. It's the Cowboys in their heyday. That entire run and everything that was going on behind the scenes is obviously one of the greatest. I mean, they've written the story. They've done it, right? But to be alive and as a Cowboys fan, watch that, it was just year in, year out. You were just like, we should probably win it all again this year.
Well, let me give you something to think about. Signetti gets a lot of love, and he deserves it, by the way. Says, Google me, I win. That's what I do, and he wins 2 years later.
Yeah.
Right? How about Jamie Morrison? Like, from an A&M perspective, a couple years ago saying, that's what we're going to do here, and he does it in 3 seasons, right? So to me, that's an A&M one to think about. Some other things, I brought it up earlier in the show. Out of nowhere, Buster Douglas beats Mike Tyson.
That's a good one, yeah.
Kurt Warner, backup quarterback to Trent Green.
Oh, the Kurt Warner.
1999 Rams.
Arena League Kurt Warner.
Right. Like, think about, he was working at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Like, that is a movie. And I know we'll laugh when I say this one, but Tom Brady's story is pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Brady was the backup to Drew Bledsoe, didn't expect to play. Comes in and wins a Super Bowl his second year, basically a rookie season for him, his second season. And then, to cap it off, leaves the Patriots and wins with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, end up being the greatest. I mean, I think that is, Brady was, a 6th-round pick?
Yes.
He played, essentially, he was a backup all through college and basically played, 3/4 of one season, I think, if I recall. And so, the guy, and to do all that and then end up being the unquestioned greatest of all time. I don't think you can question that Brady is the greatest NFL quarterback of all time. I don't think there is a debate there anymore. I mean, I think for a long time it was always like, is it Montana? Is it Elway? Is it Aikman? Something, I don't think Aikman was ever in it, but
Aikman was in it just because he had a lot of rings.
Yeah, but I think that is completely squashed. I think now the debate is who's the greatest overall football player of all time. I think it's going to be either Jerry Rice or Tom Brady.
My whole life, I thought it was Jerry Rice.
Oh, Jerry Rice is
until Tom Brady.
Well, if you really look at the stats, though, Jerry Rice is unbelievable. I mean, Michael Irvin, who was his contemporary, who played the same era, said he was Jesus in cleats.
Yeah.
So,
but the GOAT conversation is so ridiculous because I can sit here and tell you that I've never seen anything like Barry Sanders. People that grew up watching Walter Payton will tell you they never saw anything like Sweetness. Yeah. The story, it's interesting. You bring up the volleyball story. The interesting thing is Indiana didn't have to run a gauntlet. Jamie Morrison ran the gauntlet of gauntlets, beating all the 1 seeds en route to the national championship. And multiple sweeps along the way. I'd say that story it's close. And I know that's being, that's kind of maroon shaded a little bit, but if you actually look at what he did, and we're not a volleyball school, so he wasn't walking into 1 million 5-stars on the roster. Right. He wasn't walking into all these All-Americans. And he developed them into All-Americans, and he won a national championship, and he had to do it basically on the hardest path you could have done it in. So and especially, having lost at Kentucky earlier in the year and then having to face them again, it's a great story.
Beat them down.
This is a great topic. I do think though that probably, and I don't know if y'all may agree with me on this. I think I think from an A&M perspective, I think our greatest sports story has got to be the bonfire game. It's just to go from that week, and we all remember it. I mean, we were around then, and so to go how difficult that week was, and everything that went into that, I guess, week and a half leading up to that game, and to go and win it the way we did, and the picture of Brian Gamble sitting on the field with his arms up, and big play Jay Brooks stripping that ball out on Applewhite, which was just still to this day fantastic.
Well, yes, I'm not going to disagree with that, and I put Johnny right in that same kind of category. There's a lot we can get into with this topic.
But the Indiana one is certainly deserving of a good Netflix.
Going a different way, a story that maybe isn't going to be told anymore is the Bill Belichick story, because, boy, Tom left and
he won.
Yeah.
And now, unless he wins at North Carolina, which doesn't feel likely after that first season.
Yeah.
All right, we'll hit a break here. Let's talk a little bit about the Brazos Running Company. They are fantastic, and we've got masonhay.com, so you want to certainly check them out. Brazos Running Company is your local Aggie-owned specialty running store in Century Square below the Star Cinema Grill. Mike Nugent, passionate about finding the right shoe for you. If you're a runner or into fitness at all, he's going to find that right shoe for you, and that right shoe might be Brooks, On, Hoka. They've got it all. They've got Viore. They've got Duck Camp apparel. They've got Turtle Box speakers. And the Aggie spirit runs deep in their family. He's got daughters, Haley, class of 22, Macy, class of 25, fourth-generation Aggies in College Station, and they're natives. Of course, they've created Mason Hay, their own company featuring licensed Aggie merchandise, from the pajamas with the original artwork, inspired by A&M traditions, to baby blankets and stationery. They've got it all. What you need to do is check out the Brazos Running Company or shop Mason Hay at masonhay.com. That is the Brazos Running Company or masonhay.com. And we are back here on TexAgs Live. We're presented by David Gardner's Jewelers Rollo Insurance Studio. I like that shot, Nick. Looks good. Here, it's the Fan Show, presented by PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Gentlemen, is there any worry? I don't know if worry is the right word, but any, like, you look at it like, what is happening to the SEC? Like, we had how many years of dominance? 20, right? And I say we because A&M's been a part of it for half that time. And like 3 years in a row, the Big Ten, like the upper echelon of the Big Ten is better than the upper echelon of the SEC, at least the last 3 years.
Well, the Michigan championship was fraudulent, probably cheated.
Yeah.
And they had an easy playoff road. No, I mean, seriously, that's tainted. So I'm discard that. Ohio State's legit.
Indiana's legit.
This Andy is absolutely legit. I was a doubter and a hater, certainly early in the season. They're crap non-conference schedule, but
that's the way to go, though.
Yeah. And they proved it in the playoffs. So SEC still deeper, harder conference schedule.
Week in, week out, beat you up.
We're gonna probably be on the wrong end of that. A bunch of teams with this 9-game schedule, because until the committee is forced to actually look at what strength of schedule means. Anyway, we're not going there. You're asking about the SEC. It's fine.
You think next year they'll be in the mix again?
I don't know. I'm done dogging the Big Ten, but because I think they have their top 4 to 5 teams are fine.
Is it that many?
SEC probably has 10 that are fine, or 12.
SEC is always going to be in the mix, but college football is cyclical. I mean, it's just conferences are going to have runs, and you see the quote unquote domination of the SEC, and now is this the beginning of the domination of the Big Ten? But the longer I'm in this conversation, and I just hear this year after year after year, right? The SEC. Who cares? Like, I don't have any conference allegiance at this point. Like, that left when they let the SIPs in. Like, I don't care. Like, if you're going to sit here and say the Big Ten's better than the SEC, okay,
all right,
I'm going to sleep the exact same night, like, no matter what you would have said in that situation. So, like, just like beating your chest over your conference logo. It just, I've kind of gotten to the point where I don't care. Yeah, it's great if our conference is good, but at the end of all of it, the last man standing is all that matters.
Right. But here's the difference when I look at it, and we all look at it. The SEC isn't carrying around Maryland, Rutgers, Purdue,
Minnesota,
UCLA, right? And well, Minnesota's at least average. I mean, they have some real dog crap teams, right? And you get some off weeks, and we don't get that.
No, I mean, if you go and look at it, I mean, look at the NFL draft. The NFL knows what they're doing. They're
all
drafting
SEC.
Right? It's still all SEC to this day. I mean, you got week in and week out where you're playing. I mean, your top end of the SEC versus the top end of the Big Ten. The top end of the SEC is going to get a little more beat up. They're playing a little bit tougher competition week in and week out. But I'm kind of with Roy at this point. Like, genuinely, like, if the SEC wins or not, I mean, yeah, I guess it. I really, like, I wasn't pulling. I was not pulling for Ole Miss to beat Miami. I was not. I was like, okay. I mean, I think I was indifferent a little bit because one was SEC, but really Miami beat us, and so I'd like to see them continue this. But I did not really care one way or the other. I think, like you said, my conference allegiance, I was all SEC, and now I'm just like, as soon as they let Texas in after everything they did.
Good point. I used to say this for other conferences we're in, but I'll make it current. My ring does not say SEC.
No, it says A&M.
And so another thing about it, like, obviously you only have one champion, and you can talk about the playoff games, but now that bowl games really don't mean anything, you can't go, hey man, the SEC didn't have that many bowl wins. Yeah, but I mean, how many of those teams cared? How many of the Big Ten teams cared? How many of the ACC teams cared? So that used to be like the metric, right? What was your overall bowl record as a conference? And then you could be like, all right, well, even though they won the national championship, that was their only bowl win. And so that's how we kind of did it. But now you can't take bowl results seriously either. So you're guessing.
So who's got the better coaches?
I'd say it's probably no.
I don't know. I think the Big Ten.
Big Ten's got some dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cignetti, Ryan Day. The coach at Minnesota, I like that. He's
that's
working,
three really good right there.
Row the boat. He's doing what he can at Minnesota.
Kyle Whittingham at Michigan. That's
Dry fit.
4. Dry fit 5. Kirk Ferentz. Do we think he's good?
Yeah.
Brett Bielema.
I like Bert.
Matt Campbell now at Penn State.
Matt Campbell is a good coach. He's a very good coach.
Okay,
That's
so-
going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So that's at least 8 deep.
Buzz Williams, Matt Rule at Nebraska.
SEC wise, I think
I
Kirby
think we
Smart
spend more
is-
money. There's a lot more money spent on SEC coaches.
Kirby Smart, Lane Kiffin, Kalen DeBoer. He's kind of lost a little bit of his luster. Josh Heupel, Sark, Venables, Eli Drinkwitz, Mike Elko, Shane Beamer, Clark Lee.
All dudes. Vandy. What's Vandy's guy?
Clark Lee.
Clark Lee.
Awesome.
Yeah, which one? I'd say from top to bottom. I think it's representative of the actual SEC versus the Big Ten.
For the quality.
Big Ten's got some good coaches at the top, 4 or 5 guys, but we've got 10 of them, right? And so that are all as good or equally as good. And so
if Sark was, I was looking at 2 different rankings. If Sark was 5 on one ranking and Lincoln Riley was 5 for the Big Ten, I think Sark's probably a better coach than Lincoln at this point. Kirby versus Cignetti. Well, I think Cignetti's got that right now, at least recency bias, right? But over the career, obviously Kirby's got more national championship rings. Lane Kiffin, that guy just wins.
Yeah. Now I will say I don't know if you send Kirby to Indiana after the 3-9 season, if they're winning a national championship though. So that was something that, like you said, that's why this story is so impressive. Is that he went to? Were you talking about one of the worst college football programs? Really, genuinely, if you look at it, they are absolute bottom 10% of college football programs.
But do we know? And I think the answer is probably
to win the
yes.
national championship.
But do we know, would Cignetti do well with a bunch of 5 stars? Like that is a different type of coaching. Phil Jackson coached differently than Jeff Van Gundy, right? There's a different style.
Yeah, I would love to see what he could do with a bunch of 5 stars. That would be.
His style seems like it could win anywhere.
Well, but we also go back to the kind of, we always talk about this conversation. The big time 5 stars, they tend to be kind of tread lightly around. Sometimes they've got egos. You got to deal with them. So it's almost, can you break those egos to fit within your system? Because I think Cignetti runs like a very, very tight ship.
His personality reminds me a lot of Urban Meyer, and Urban Meyer was able to do it. So I'd love to see what he can do. But
more Saban
than all right, let's head to break. We'll come back. Luke Evangelos will join us, and we'll do the little prize picks game. I'm sure I did horrible. I think we all did horrible last week. That's fine. We've gotten used to that. That's next on TexAgs.
We are back here on TexAgs Live. It's the fan show brought to you by Prize Picks. Luke Evangelist is going to tell you all about Prize Picks.
It's incredible. I actually lost a lot of money yesterday, but Matthew Dawson did not. So
he's smart.
He is. He is actually knowledgeable, and I am not. So actually, I get all my basketball stats from him. So that's another promo. Just listen to what Matthew Dawson has to say about Prize Picks, and you'll make money.
Yeah, he posts every week on the board, right?
Yeah, every week.
Rip him, pick him, or
Pick him and rip him
Pick him
story.
and rip him, yeah.
Yeah, prizepicks.com/TexAgs.
Yeah, that's the code right there. You get $50 once you play your first $5 in lineups.
I wouldn't have tossed you if I knew you had to fix your chair. I apologize for that. Anyway, we're going to play the Prize Picks game, which we pick against stats projection. So,
and we have no idea what we're picking today because college football.
We're out of college football.
Are we doing?
We're
pro
actually
football
picking
and
week
basketball?
1 of college football. So no, I'm kidding. We're doing NFL playoffs.
Oh, cool. All right,
let's do it.
All right, we're going to start it off with Matthew Stafford.
By the way, how did we do last week?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, y'all are just perpetually mid. But you know what? 500 is okay. Hunter, you were 4-4. Roy was 4-4. That's okay because David and Matt were 3-5. So,
but I'm still in the lead overall for the season.
500 for y'all looks like 5-1 in SEC play.
Did I win the college football season? That's
Okay,
the
we're
question.
gonna do a quick addition.
I don't like your tone, Luke, about because when you're the host, you should be a little bit more empathetic to how hard it is to
Okay,
beat us.
so Roy
He didn't listen at
won.
all.
Oh.
But it was by the skin of his teeth. It was by 2
It was a
wins.
mid-win.
Does teeth have skin?
Isn't that just an expression? I just listen to what other people say and copy it. I don't actually think for myself.
Yeah, I know that.
That's a good way to go through life.
Yeah.
Your name's Ron Burgundy?
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
All right, let's play.
Next. Okay. Wait, did y'all give your picks for Matthew Stafford?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
More than or less than 255.5.
You're gonna have to remind us
passing
of the
yards.
matchups.
Oh, they're playing Seattle.
In Seattle.
In Seattle.
So 255.
Yep.
I mean, he's led the league in passing yards, passing touchdowns, everything all season. I mean, I can't imagine that he would. He's got to go for more. I mean, that's to me that's the smartest pick.
When he played Seattle not long ago, he threw for 457 yards in a loss. Give me more than.
I like Stafford more than.
Yeah, same.
Did y'all know he went to Highland Park and was in
Yeah.
the same high school with Clayton Kershaw?
Yes.
And Jeff Kent's son?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
My question
Was
is, did
he
we
roommates
offer
with Colt McCoy?
Yes.
Did we offer him? Is my question.
You'll have to go back and look that one up in the history books. Drake May, the quarterback of the Patriots, more than or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns at Denver.
I'm gonna say less. Denver's been tough. Denver's got a good defense, man.
And Denver at home. That's one of the legit home field advantages.
I'm going
at
less.
Mile High.
I'm going to go less as well.
I'm going to go more than.
All right, we've got.
I'll go more.
I mean, his last 5 games, by the way, 2 touchdown passes, 5 touchdown passes, 1-1. So
yeah.
He's also turning the ball over quite a bit.
Yeah.
He turned the ball over twice in the last 4 games. Interceptions.
Yeah. He got out.
Fumbles.
He out CJ Strouded CJ Stroud.
On the fumbles.
Yes, on the fumbles.
Not the terrible throws to no one.
Exactly. If you haven't been watching NFL football, Jared Stidham is now the quarterback of the Broncos because Bo Nix got
broke
injured.
his ankle.
So his
and he
number.
used to play for the Patriots.
He did.
Yeah.
You know ball, David Nuño.
That's what
And
they
he
call
said
it.
Sidham was an Auburn guy, right?
And I think Baylor, right? Didn't he play at both?
Yeah, he played.
Yeah.
He signed with. He was a 5-star. He was like the second best quarterback in behind Kyler Murray, and then he ended up going to Baylor. Yeah. So
they basically ended up the same.
Baylor and Auburn.
yeah.
All right, let's play.
His number is set at 197.5 passing yards.
Less. Backup quarterback making his first start of the season
Against Denver in Mile High.
Yeah.
Yeah, less than.
Yeah, less.
Against the Pats, yeah.
All right, we've got Sam Darnold, quarterback of the Seahawks, more than or less than 235.5 passing yards against the Rams.
You hear Sam Darnold and you automatically go less, but I mean he's been really good this year. So I'm gonna say more.
He threw for 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
He's like most improved player for sure. These last 2 years he's been
Do
unbelievable.
they give an award out for that?
They actually do, I think.
Yeah.
What's
Most
the
improved
number?
Player.
235.5.
I'm going more.
Going your that middle. Let's go let's go more.
More.
I'm going to have to go more.
Next up, we've got Puka Nacua.
More.
Always fun. Always fun to say. More than or less than 91.5.
More.
Ooh.
I had him on my fantasy team this year, man. I know what that dude did.
More.
I'm going less than.
I'm going less as well, and just for no reason at all. I have no reason, just a guess.
He's fun to watch, man.
He really is. Another guy who's fun to watch, but maybe not so much off the field. Stephon Diggs, more than or less than
actually he is fun to watch off the
45 and a half receiving yards. He plays for the Patriots.
Yes.
When he's not
former Houston Texan
doing things.
What is it? What's his number?
45 and a half.
Less than.
I'm going more.
I'm going more.
I'll go more.
RJ Harvey, the running back from the Broncos, more than or less than 42 and a half rushing yards.
It's going to have to be more because I firmly believe that they're going to try and lean on the running game.
They're going to have to run the ball. So I'm going to say more.
I'm going less than.
And then finally, we've got Kenneth Walker, the running back from Seattle, more than or less than 85 and a half rushing yards.
Less.
More than.
More than.
More.
Love Kenneth Walker.
He is a beast. That's all I've got.
Thank you, sir.
Let's hope for a
championship weekend.
Would it be too much to ask for a 6-2 or a 5-3 week from y'all?
I don't know. We all picked the same on a good number of them, so it's either going to be really good or really bad.
Yeah. But why are you so disrespectful about our picks?
That's like we've said, my entire role on this show is to be the comedic relief and make fun of y'all.
Oh,
that's fair.
And
if I'm not on for a basketball segment, I have free reign. Well, not all free reign.
Really?
But
do you?
I can be a little joyful and jovial and fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've made fun of that mustache for years. This is his chance to get back at
his prior haircut.
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
He didn't do the prior haircut.
It's the Blanche.
Yeah.
If A&M basketball wins a regular season SEC title this year, I'll get whatever haircut you want.
Nice. All right. Hey, locking that in. I just locked that in.
I don't buy it.
Yeah.
This guy lies.
I would do it. Are you kidding me? I would
just
do
a
it.
liar.
I hate liars.
We'll hit a break. Thank you, Luke. Appreciate you. And thank you to Prize Picks. When we come back on TexAgs Live, we'll tap dance. We'll just talk about some football things. How about that? Next on TexAgs. Hey friends, David Nuño here for Prize Picks. They're back on TexAgs, prizepicks.com/TexAgs. Use the code TexAgs to get $50 once you play in $5 lineups. And Prize Picks is the best place to win cash while watching sports. Football season's here, basketball coming up, baseball, you name it. You go to prizepicks.com/TexAgs and start having some fun watching sports, making some money on there. And you can play Prize Picks in over 40 states, including California and Texas. Remember, they'll give you $50 in lineups once you play $5 lineups on Prize Picks. And they have the new thing. It's called It's Good to Be Right campaign, and they're kicking off the upcoming NFL season with their bold new campaign, It's Good to Be Right. The seasonal long push celebrates the thrills of getting it right, from the perfect prediction to winning your Prize Picks lineups. Prize Picks is good to be right. We are back here on TexAgs Live, presented by David Gardner's Jewelers, Rollo Insurance Studio. The Fan Show brought to you by Prize Picks. Guys, how are we feeling today about A&M football for 2026? And I'm going to set it up with a couple parameters. There was the disappointment of the way the season ended, right? I think maybe with a little bit of distance and time, it doesn't look as bad considering how good Miami was and how good Miami was against Indiana. But still, the last 8 quarters were the worst quarters. You know that 10 out of the last 12 quarters were the worst quarters, right? So heading into 26, brand new offensive line, brand new defensive line, some new pieces to the secondary, a running back core that looks pretty good, a quarterback who's going to come for his 3rd year, really his 2nd year starting, but he started at the end of a couple years ago. How do we feel today in January about what A&M football is going to look like? We'll start off with Roy.
Oh, man. Yeah, this is tough. Thank you for putting the schedule up. Just looking through the schedule, if I were to just right off the cuff, because I'm going to preface this with this thought that I do think that Marcel Reed is going to get better and develop more, right? So I expect a better version of Marcel Reed next year. Win Missouri State, win Arizona State, win Kentucky. I don't know about LSU. I have no idea what to expect of the Lane Project, but he wins, right? So I'll chalk it up as a loss. I think we beat Arkansas. Quarterback's gone at Missouri, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got Austin Simmons from Ole Miss, the guy who was initially the starter.
Yeah, and then fell behind.
Well, he got hurt and then
just
Trinidad,
lost the job. Yeah. I can see it. Missouri's a coin flip. Beat Citadel. No, I had no idea with Alabama. Honestly, you were just talking about Kalen DeBoer, as he lost some of his shine. Another coin flip at Alabama. I like us to beat South Carolina.
We haven't won there in a minute.
I don't care. Tennessee, again, I don't know what to expect out of Tennessee. I didn't really see much of them this year. Oklahoma, Mateer's gone.
No, he's back.
Oh, well, maybe that's good news.
Yeah.
So Oklahoma, I don't know. Texas, I don't know. So, you're looking at 4 or 5 maybe toss-ups. The defensive line part of it doesn't bother me because we kind of retooled it this past year, right? Elko's shown that he can do it. The offensive line, because Elko has shown that he can go out and get guys of need that fit the culture and fit what he's trying to do, I have confidence the offensive line will be, it'll be efficient. And I don't know if it'll be great per se. But the pieces he added in the secondary, I like the running back room like you do. Obviously, I love the wide receiver room. So to me, it's all about Marcel. It really is all about Marcel because there are, a handful of things that you can very clearly identify that he needs to fix. And you can start with his feet. But the things he needs to fix are fixable.
Yep. The earliest test this year was Notre Dame. Next year, I think will be at LSU, Hunter.
Yeah, certainly some question marks. I just think with that schedule, it's going to be difficult to get back to the playoff. Doable, but that finish we just showed, so it's at South Carolina, Tennessee at home, at OU, Texas.
That's a brutal
stretch. Elko better start his finished speeches again because that's a tough stretch down the road. I'm concerned about this 9-game SEC schedule. I just think it's going to be tough to get back to the playoff.
But on the flip side, if we do get back to the playoffs with this schedule, how good are you going to feel about that?
Yeah. Oh, legit.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden you're like, okay, Elko is absolutely moving this program forward.
Looking at that schedule, I thought to myself, last year we were 7-1, started great, kind of fell off at the end. Generally the same thing this year. 11-0, even though South Carolina was an amazing second half.
Yep.
Should have lost that ball game probably. And then you could have ended up with losing 3 out of your last 4 games with the sprinkle in the cupcake in between, right? But and now looking at that, our 4 toughest games. Our 5 toughest games are our last 5 games at Bama, at South Carolina bye week, at South Carolina, Tennessee coming here, at OU, and then Texas. That's our end of our schedule. Our end of that schedule is the toughest one. So I, for one. Every year I go into it thinking we're not going to be very good. We end up being a lot better than I thought. I genuinely, coming into this season, I thought this is a 7-5 team at best. With the schedule, the way it looked, and the pieces that we'd lost, especially on the defensive line, I was like, we're not going to be very good. And they completely proved me wrong. 11-0, one of our better seasons we've had in in the last 20 years. And I did the same thing going into 2012. I thought going into 2012, before we knew who Johnny and Mike Evans and all these guys were, I thought, oh, we just lost Tannehill and Fuller and all these guys, Cyrus Gray. We're not going to be very good. And we did. So I'm going to continue to think we're not going to be very good. So hopefully that will.
The reality about the schedule, guys, is not only we don't know, nobody knows, because
just like we didn't know this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Notre Dame ended up being who we thought they were, but LSU did not.
But that away schedule, though, just kind of by itself is it's just
away schedule, and the fact that November is on our schedule.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I think you're right, because if you look back on it, I mean, LSU was not who we thought they were going to be. Florida wasn't who we thought they were going to be. Missouri, I thought Missouri going
they
into
were about
our game
who I
was,
thought they would be.
Yeah. I mean, LSU, Florida. I mean, South Carolina. Everybody thought South Carolina was going to be a pretty tough team this year. They weren't very good. And so you're right. We go into last season thinking, oh, this is going to be a tough schedule, and then we somewhat breeze through a fairly easy schedule. Let's be honest.
If you can be through those first 7 games and be, I don't know, 6-1. It don't mean anything because November's still coming. But because if you are 4-2 at that point, that's going to get really hard.
Yeah,
yeah. I think you have to be either 6-1 or 7-0 on the first half of the schedule, or those first 7 games.
I like getting LSU early.
I do. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Let's just add LSU.
It's just we're going to have this every other year when we have 5 SEC road games.
Yep,
it's just going to be tough.
It is, gentlemen. This was fun. Thank you. Thank you very much.
David.
Casual look. You like it? Casual Thursday?
It's like The View, but it doesn't suck.
Yeah. The opinions don't suck. Well, never mind.
Well, the opinions.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you. All right, that's going to do it for TexAgs Live here on a Thursday. Tomorrow on the show, I'm working on somebody that was supposed to be early this week that we had to reschedule. I'll see if I get that through. And a couple other things. Billy will be here. Olin will be here. And Pablo Escobar will be here. That's going to do it. Thank you, my friends, for watching and listening. I'm going to let the music play because I got nothing else to say. We'll see you mañana.